Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hi. Welcome to the show. Aiden will be joining us in about 5 minutes. He said he needed about 5 minutes to do some sort of, I guess, preamble to his audience, and fair enough. I told him to jump backstage at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we'll pull him in. So we still got like 5 minutes, just in time for me to say hi to you guys for a little bit and, warm up something and kind of give you an idea of what to expect today. The reason that we're having this discussion is I happened to see Aiden, and to be clear, if you don't know who Aiden is, he's one of the gentlemen who debated Destiny on Destiny versus the Snarkers, which was on my channel a week or two ago. He seems to be under the impression that he did well, that he actually won the debate, that he dunked on Destiny. I disagree, but I was very curious to hear him out, and I invited him on to make his case. I thought it might be good content if we compared notes a little bit on what the debate was about, how it went, the results of it, all these things. I thought it'd be good content. And it would allow me to address a few issues that I have since come into knowledge of that involve Aiden that I was curious about. So I think it'd be a good opportunity to kind of get him on the record for a few things. And we'll see. I'm very curious how this will go. Nice to see you. 5 Ultbomb. Francios. Franco is Lecotte. Waiting for your slop? Well, slop it is. Bill Cockburn, thank you for the prime sub. Really appreciate you. Turn up the volume. Is it low? Can you not hear me? It's up as... My audio is super low? Oh, you guys are fucking with me, right? My audio is my audio. Turn me up if it's low on your end, okay? It's fine on this end. One of the two twinks that Destiny debated. Sure. Yes. Alishness. Hi, Whick. Hi, Alishness. Headless Chicken says, I sound fine. Yeah, figured. Here. I know my audio is not the best, but it is. Thuggish, ruggish Dome says, get it together, Whick. Fair enough. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I don't know. One of the things that is interesting to me is after every single debate for the last year, 2 years that I've had, after every single debate, everyone declares victory. No matter how it goes, no matter how they did, no matter how their opponent did, it doesn't matter. Everyone will declare that they won. And it annoys me that this happens. So I want to talk a little bit about it with Aiden himself, because that's what I feel he did immediately after the debate. Or at least that's what I saw. And who knows? Maybe he can convince me otherwise. I will be asking for specifics. I will be asking him where he thinks he did well, where he thinks he took the W. I do have some clips lined up for my side of the argument, and we'll see if he does. Yeah. Bill Cockburn says, not sure how he could claim victory after that Dan monologue. Yeah. But I guess we'll have to see, right? The Short Stack Goblin says, that's just Wick TV's beta voice, mate, not the audio. I sound how I sound. If you guys don't like it, I understand. But is what it is. Give me a second. Let me check some of these DMs. Every time, gang. Every time I go live and people somehow realize I exist once I go live and they decide that's the time to DM me with stuff and ask me questions and make requests and bros and broettes. I'm streaming. I can't get to you right now. I'm busy. I'm prepping. But anyway, let's see. 5 Volt Bomb says Wick is hiding his power level, perhaps. Says new here, but after seeing you approach the situation from an unbiased perspective till you were presented with facts, you won me over. Love the panels. Keep the good work. Well, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alishness says, Whick, would you be okay with someone in the server coming on and accusing you of sweeping for a pedophile? No, I would confront that person. We would have words. But, yeah. Let me DM Aiden, see where he is at. Well, hop on. Well, let me switch to my my thing so you guys can get the. Hello.
Yo, what's good? Hold on, let me cam up here.
Yeah, take your time. Get all the ducks in a row and all that.
Here we go. And then pop. Oh shit, it's not working.
Oh
Hold on.
no! Technical issues at the very beginning of the stream.
I got it. I think we're here we go. Start virtual cam.
And thank you, No Cow Mike, for the 35-month subscription. 35 months? What are you doing, man? That's almost 3 years. Thank you for the Prime sub. Really appreciate you. That's dedication. Okay, that's dedication. Anyway, we can see you now. We can hear you now. You're coming through loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Great. Wonderful. So yeah, so I guess as I was telling my audience, and just to set this up, I saw you posting, or I was directed to a post of yours. I forget if I saw it in a quote tweet or a reply or something. But you were claiming, and correct me if I get this wrong. I'm doing this off memory. You were claiming that anyone that didn't think that you won in your debate with Destiny was in a cult. Do you stand by that?
Sure, yeah. So I think I was obviously using a little bit of hyperbole there. I think there are various reasons that contribute to sort of a cult mentality within DGG. But I think that if you walked away from that thinking that I lost, like as nobody's been able to argue with me. For example, everyone coming into my replies would insist that I lost, and then when I pressed them on what position I lost on, they said they didn't remember. So when that happened, to me, it seems like, okay, you vested interest in just defending the streamer you like and the personality you're invested in, which is like sort of like cult like mentality as opposed to agreeing with like the individual presentation of positions or believing I lost on substance.
Sure. I mean, that obviously happens. I think that we can all agree that in any community of a sufficient size, there are going to be people who simply stand their man, so to speak, right? Who defend their streamer daddy no matter what. And this happens on all sides of all debates and has for a very long time. I guess my question for you, because I was there and I obviously have my opinion of how that went. And I'll just be honest. I don't think you did well, and we're gonna talk about why. But
Sure.
yeah, can you just, out of curiosity, can you give me what do you think was your strongest moments in the debate? How
Yeah. So
in what way? Just let me finish here. In what way do you think that you won overall? And what does
yeah.
winning mean in this context?
Sure. So my position going into that was that the assertion that this was a doxing server was not substantiated by the evidence provided, which I stood by at that point in time. And for the evidence presented to me and Dickers in that debate, at no point was actual evidence of doxing presented to us. Now, I understand that evidence of doxing was presented to you, right? And when I figured out what that was, I immediately took action in that regard because I didn't know about that. Once again, I'm not in the server. But when they had the opportunity to lay out the argument in their evidence, they failed to actually substantiate it at the time of that argument, and that was my position going into it, and it was still my position leaving. They failed to prove that. The point specifically I think I did the strongest in was when they tried to use the like Tectone Church thing as evidence of doxing, but that was just because Destiny like completely didn't know the context of the whole like the mall thing. Um, was not like trying to pinpoint his location at the time. That was trying to pinpoint whether or not he was lying about witnessing a mass shooting. He wouldn't have been present at that location anymore.
Okay. So I guess a couple questions right off then. Do you stand by your assertion that no doxing happened in that server, or have you changed your mind on that since?
I have changed my mind on
Okay.
that because somebody presented me with evidence of an instance of doxing occurring in that server.
Okay.
And I said at the time, at timestamp 2:20 in the debate or 2 hours 20 minutes in the debate itself, just present me with evidence that doxing occurred and I will happily call it. I will happily admit as such and take corrective action.
Well, I have something from a little bit earlier, 2:17:01. Let me pull that up. It might be helpful because there's a couple questions I have at this point.
Yep.
But let's watch this first. Give me a second. Put it full screen for us. You got it up, my muchacho?
Wait, hold up. I'm pulling it up now. By the way, out of curiosity, you're like probably 2 decades older than me, so I'm embarrassed. I'm asking you. Do you know how to hide yourself as a participant on your own end? Out of curiosity,
I I don't
it's okay if you don't. It's
know.
okay if you don't.
I don't.
I just
I'm
didn't know.
sorry. If you're
No
look,
worries. No
if this is
worries.
a yeah, I'm not good at tech. I apologize.
Oh, I don't know. No worries. I just didn't have you up enough. All
Yeah,
good.
sure. But let's see what you have to say here.
If
Sure.
you could actually demonstrate to me that doxing was occurring in this server, I will unequivocally denounce whoever the fuck was doing it and the people that stood by and saw
That
it.
means
Wait,
fucking
wait. The
nothing to me.
people that stood by and saw it. So what? The people that were, but not the whole server. You would still.
Ah! Okay, I need to get a ad block. I am sorry. I
No worries.
apologize.
No worries.
Let me skip the ad. Yes. Furious movie. It looks good. I'm excited.
Have
Okay.
this exact same call to the commentary community rally. You would only disavow. How would you even know who was active at the time and saw it? Would it just be people that responded to it, people that liked it, and then everybody else on the server is fair game? Or like they're cool?
I mean, no, I'd probably be okay disavowing the actual creators in the server, even if they weren't active at the time.
What is
Okay. So, have you since, now that you have been presented evidence, have you since denounced the creators in the server at the time?
Yeah, I think Kosher Kathy was like an idiot and shouldn't moderate a server.
So I'm not just talking about Kosher Kathy here. I'm talking, and I don't think you were as well. There were many more creators than just Kosher Kathy in there at the time, correct?
Okay, so my statement specifically was about the creators of the server. I know there were like 100 people in there, but obviously I understand that, and I'm sure you are as well. You're in a lot of servers where you don't see every message. I'm totally okay with denouncing people that saw it at the time and said nothing, or people that ran the server and didn't delete it.
But
The
the
person that ran the
problem,
server.
and this is why I think you lost, man.
Yep.
Is you had an indefensible position because there's no way to know who saw those messages and who did not see those messages. We can't, it's, as you said, it's an unfalsifiable thing to say. So given that there is really no way to prove who saw, who didn't see, and considering also that you were banned at the time, so you couldn't even go back and check any of these things, right? To come onto a stream and defend the proposition that this server had no doxing in it, right? You kind of set yourself up for an auto loss.
I don't think
And to
so.
be clear, right? Like I understand you may not have had the information at the time, but they did, and they were able to show that information. The information has since been corroborated not just by other creators, but by the server itself. Like your position was just wrong, and that was demonstrated
Well,
not only in the debate itself but after the debate. Would you
well, no, no.
disagree with anything I just said?
Yeah, so I disagree with sort of the overall premise here because what I was doing was instead, as opposed to making an argument myself, I was making a counter argument to an argument that had been laid out on a stream with Chad, Queeman, Dan, and Destiny. The accusation was made that doxing had occurred in the server. They presented their evidence, and the evidence they presented at the time did not substantiate the claim itself. So I go into that debate. My claim is that the evidence they're substantiating and the given sort of aggressive expectation of acceptance of claims being made was not justified by evidence presented at that point in time.
But
And
you
that's just
yeah,
true.
I understand.
The evidence that changed my position came out later.
Yes,
So
but you
it would
understand how these debates don't just exist within the prompt. Well, let me just ask you this. Do you think that you can win specifically on a single point in a debate but still lose overall?
Um, I mean, if it in like a less formal conversation, sure. I think this was like a planned thing where we kind of knew what was being debated and that the overall premise, the overall argument being made. I feel like if you walk away from that without being proven wrong on the overall broader argument, then I think the debate itself is not
Okay,
lost.
we might have just a fundamental difference of opinion on how these things work. So for me, and I'll just tell you, when I think about what does winning a debate mean, and what, like, as someone who has either participated in or mostly moderated at this point, probably over 1,000 debates at this point in my career. I think I have a pretty good instinct on how these things go, what works, what doesn't work, and all these things, right? And I'm not claiming to be a perfect debater. I've lost debates before. I've won debates before. It just happens when you have thousands of debates. It's going to happen. Um, the key to winning a debate is persuasion. That's what you want to do. You want to persuade the people, right, that you are correct and the other people are incorrect. Now, in the course of this specific debate, this was taking place in a context of a discourse that had been going on for at least a week before we had that discussion, right? Probably a little longer. And it's still going on. The
Of
discourse is
course, yeah.
still happening, right? And so Destiny's and later Dan's goal in this was to persuade the people who were participating in this discourse that what they were saying was correct and what their opponent's saying was obfuscation, incorrect, that they were doing wrong things. In the course of that discussion, I was persuaded that they had been correct in their claims. And I would posit that I think most people who were involved in the discourse, who came away from that, were persuaded that, oh, there was doxing taking place in that server. And as you mentioned, this has since been corroborated. We since
Wick,
now know this, right? So
well,
obviously, in the course, in the case of the discourse, you
what
you guys
persuaded you,
just
Wick, in that
lost.
debate? Yeah, what persuaded you in the course of that debate?
Seeing the two things. Obviously, the number one thing, the most persuasive thing, was seeing my docs. And again, I did not know at the time that it was from that specific server. But later I was made aware that it was from that specific server because the server itself admitted that and said, "Oh, yeah, our bad.
So,
It
so
was
how,
there."
Wick?
So that's number one. Number two, what persuaded me is the 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 argument that you were making, and I understand why you were making it, was that there was an absence of evidence. But I don't find that persuasive because an absence of evidence is not necessarily evidence of absence, right? And I think that this debate was a good demonstration of that concept. Would you disagree?
Sure, of course. But I don't think we go into things, especially when we're talking about like instances of wrongdoing. I guess my default assumption is not wrongdoing occurred until it's proven that it didn't. When somebody's alleging wrongdoing, I believe it's their burden to lay out why they believe it's occurred, and when they're given an opportunity to do so and they have failed, then of course I'm going to make a counter argument. Now, the thing that persuaded you was not a part of the debate itself because that evidence was never introduced to the opposition. That was introduced to you personally and
Sure.
never utilized in the course of the debate to combat anything that we were saying.
Well,
So I don't
well,
think
it
it would be
was.
fair.
It was,
Well, no,
but it was
it
done
was
through me, right? And you understand why they
th-
did that way, correct?
uh, to get the moderator on their side. Yeah,
No, no. They did it
yeah,
that way because they didn't want to show you my docs. And I do have a question because you have mentioned here. I got another clip that we should watch.
sure, of
And this is
course.
from your stream. When it was a stream where you reacted to me talking to Tony, and you said something that caught my attention. I was made aware of this, and I think it's worth watching. And I have a question for you. Okay, so let's take a look at it, and hopefully we don't have the ad thing. But you got it up. You able to see it?
Yep.
And how do you
Censor that you
believe
can
it's made?
censor that part of it.
Well, what do you mean? It's hard to describe, right?
I
Because
said this to him during the stream. I said, if you want to prove that PII was disseminated, you could have censored it, right? But when I looked at it, I understood why he couldn't. Because it was a photo and a tweet pertaining to his full name and something he did in his personal life. And if he included the photo, you could have just reversed image searched it.
So, my question for you, who showed you my docs?
I actually don't remember. I remember that I went
Don't
when I heard.
remember.
I literally don't remember. And also, I went and and dug to figure out who did it. Right? I don't even know if it might have been because the person that did it to you was somebody that I knew personally. So of course I wanted to. They were actually a mod in my server. So of course I wanted to take corrective action if this actually did occur. So every claim that was alleged to have happened in the course of that debate, I went and did personal digging into because I don't stand by doxing.
So
and
you
don't
don't,
tolerate it.
just to be clear, you don't remember. So what happened? What that exchange?
I literally don't. I could look.
Can I
could
finish?
look.
Can I finish? Right?
Yeah.
What that exchange implied to me, and I think that you've just confirmed, is that after the debate, and you couldn't have gone to the server to check because you were banned from it, unless you were lying about that, and I don't think you were. Someone had to show you that information. Someone, maybe more than one person, has been since then distributing my docs to show proof that I was doxed. And you may not know this, but since then, my docs has broken containment. Several creators have DM'd me and said, bro, they're posting your docs under my Twitter threads. Not only the docs that you apparently saw, but my address as well. And I am now very curious. Who is distributing my docs to all of you?
I could look into that. I legitimately
Please
swear
do.
on my life, swear on my family's life. I literally don't fucking remember right now. I unironically don't. There were a million claims being made. I was digging into whether or not this Windy Fox guy did something. I was following up personally with various people who I trust to confirm that what was being alleged to have happened did actually happen.
But you
And
you understand how this feels very sweepy, right? And I'm going to be best faith to you and assume that you just don't remember, right? And that's fair.
I literally
But
I would
but you coming on and saying you don't know who is actively, or who was at the time actively distributing my docs after I think I made this very clear that I was not okay with people seeing this. That made it I maybe you didn't understand, or maybe people didn't understand. Maybe I need to make it clear now that no, people knowing my full name and other things about me in that context, I am not okay with. I do not want that out in the public.
Yeah, sure.
And to the extent that I can stop it.
If you, for example, if it was being alleged that somebody in your server had doxed me, and you went to go, it wasn't my server, but if like, let's just say, for hypothetical sake, if somebody in your server, you would obviously not want to be attached to that person if that did happen. If you go and follow up on that, if you saw the instance of it occurring, obviously you would trust yourself not to disseminate it, right? Unless you, I guess, intend to disseminate it. No?
Okay. So fair enough that if I saw it, I personally wouldn't disseminate it. But yeah, that's me. I don't have a habit or a history of doxing anyone. And Aiden, my friend, in the debate we had with Destiny, one of the attacks that Destiny made against you was that you had doxed someone in the past.
Yeah, I
right?
dispute that. That's why the people who originally made the claim have retracted it. But it would we'd have to go into the weeds, which we can absolutely do.
Haven't you apologized for doing that?
No, okay, no. What I apologized for was making comments about a guy's wife, and there was no reason to even share the already widely publicized information that I shared. She didn't do anything wrong to me. She didn't do anything wrong to anybody else, and that was a dick move. And that's what I apologized for. But I disputed at the time that this was doxing. Anyone can go look at the Chud stream or the Dicker stream. I said at the time, but by definition, this wasn't doxing, right?
So you posted her full name,
which was out.
You posted her workplace.
That's not true, but we can say it I did because let's just say I did. Also, they all made that public themselves, right? We can go through I can explain
you
to you.
Posted like you had her phone number and her home address.
I do not have her phone number. I do. Yes. Yes, I don't know what her fucking phone number is. I don't know where that claim is coming from. Nobody made that at the time, and I can't dox her address because her husband gives their address out to everyone in debates on the regular. He says I'm an open book and reads out their address publicly.
You also, and I think this is the same person. I could be wrong. Maybe you can correct me. You were in London with a bunch of creators who got you drunk, and you started joking about gutting her like a fish.
Yeah, so I have sure. So I have this server, or I have a server, and then I have this chat called Icy Chat. I understand that edgy, shock humor, etc., is not everybody's forte, and I obviously want to appeal to like normies and shit as well. So I create a space, sort of how I guess Chudded Purpose Spicy, where you're able to be more openly shocking, more openly edgy, etc. But everybody involved understands that what is being said is jokes. These are jokes being made in private. It is an invite-only chat. And obviously, in-group shock humor, when analyzed by the out-group, is going to look fucking horrible. But it's an edgy joke. I have no history of violence against anybody. I'm rapping at points in that conversation. It's happening with a guy called Lumpy Willie. And I think the assertion, even the people that were coming at me for this whole drama at the time, never claimed I was being serious. The overall broader claim always had been that I had doxed somebody. And that's what I had disputed. It was only after I'd criticized Destiny that the claim then became that I was fantasizing about sexually assaulting someone, which is just not true.
So, and I saw your debate with Dickers on this, or at least a little bit. He thinks that you doxed someone.
I don't know what he thinks now. The argument's been I can re-debate him on this if he still holds that position.
Chud
Beckett, one of
Logic
the first.
said that your behavior was worse and would not be tolerated on Kiwi farms. Is that not true?
No.
Okay, well, I have the clip, so let's watch.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure this is a timestamp. I hope I got the timestamp right. We'll find out.
I'm saying that to many outside observers, you is not.
No! No! Oh, God. Auto loss for me on this. I'm sorry. I
I
apologize.
gotta post something.
Okay.
No worries. I have shit like that happen all the time.
That I think you're definitively going to do it, okay?
Yeah, this was the point that Sprite was making in Chud's chat as well. I don't know if Kiwi farmers would go this low. It's not even in their community standards. I can't think of many places that it'd be like totally okay, and everyone would be like,
But yeah, I mean, do you dispute that I was joking? Like, are you claiming that I seriously?
Well,
had
let's
homicidal
we're
intent?
not
to
done.
like half lean in and joke about this stuff. But yeah, I mean, Aiden's made these
Wait,
jokes
is
for
this
so
still
long,
playing?
and people
Oh
who
shit! Wait, you got to restart. I wasn't in your. I thought you were still looking for it.
Ah.
Restart. My bad. That's my bad. Okay, we both get one.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to.
I thought you were just I thought you were looking for it still. My bad.
that I've ever.
No.
Chatters are gonna really weigh it for themselves, unless they're like super fucking involved.
I don't really know. Because I would say, if you just said in itself, I'm going to do this and ruin Leo Convoy's wife's life, right? I would say, oh, that's probably a joke. But now I've got a lot more context that means I don't really know. And my concern is that you are like one step away from doing it. And if you get drunk and are willing to engage in this sort of behavior, like, could you take the next step? You know, would you be engaging in life ruination?
And well, we lost the time spot, unfortunately. But basically, Chud says to you that this behavior that you're engaging on would not be tolerated in Kiwi farms.
Assuming that I was like talking in Kiwi farms, but if I was legitimately expressing intent to go commit a homicide on Kiwi farms, sure. The dispute though is that I was being at all serious about that. I was doing it in a space where everybody involved knew I was joking. And that's why the only version that gets posted is one that is edited. Nobody's posted the full VC. It was an edgy joke. It were edgy jokes made while I was drunk.
Yeah,
I
but
had
you
I had the ability. Why
understand.
didn't I do any of the things that I'm supposed? If the description is that I legitimately was making some serious assertion of intent and gonna throw my life away to go harm some woman who's done nothing to me, um, if that was the claim being made, why didn't I do any of the things
If
that
I
were
were
being said there?
if I were to make a joke about finding someone's child and doing horrible things to that child, but I did it with a laugh and I winked at the audience and I had people in chat with funny, silly names like Lumpy Willie, would that be appropriate?
If you're doing it on stream, no, right? Obviously, your publicly tailored statements are going to be
So
different
as
from the
long as I
jokes you
do
make
it
in
in a
private.
place that I think is private, that's okay?
Yeah, do you not think audience matters when you're making a joke?
I think that certain jokes.
Have you ever heard time and place? Have you ever heard
Yes,
the expression time and
but I
place?
think that
Why
in
do you think that
certain
exists?
contexts, with certain jokes, there isn't really a time and place where it's appropriate, especially with,
That's not true.
again, you in the context of you having been accused, and I feel credibly, right? And I know you dispute this, but again, this
Well,
is
we
I've
can
heard
go
this from
over that
multiple
if you
sources,
want.
right? That you doxed this woman.
Never, not true at all.
So you did not
It's just
post her PII or
so
repost her
what? So the
PII
PI
that you got
posted.
from another source
So
in any public space?
yeah, so it'd be like right now if I use the snipping tool, I take a photo of your camera right now. It would be like the equivalent of reposting that PI, putting that in my server right now, right? Your face is already out there per your own through your own willing voluntary behavior. You put your face out there, therefore the distribution of that would not be doxing. Just like it wouldn't be a dox. The name Aiden is technically PII, but I voluntarily provided that name to the internet. So by you reiterating that, that wouldn't be doxing.
Well, fair enough. If that's your position, I wonder if there will be people who have other things to say on that. I guess we can find out as we go. But with all these things in place, right, that you have at least there is some shade where people do believe that you have doxed. And then you have people, and by the way, these people have to hate you. They egged you on. I listened to the recording. They egged you on to make these comments. They recorded you making these comments. They egged you on to tweet about these comments. They made you into content, man. They obviously fucking hate you. You understand that, right?
I mean, I don't know if it's hate so much as people are just naturally inclined to want content, I guess. And it
Hold
doesn't
on.
really-
If someone got me drunk or saw that I was drunk and then, right, encouraged me to tweet out that I wanted to gut someone like a fish and that I was going to go to their house and gangbang their wife, right? These people are not my friends. These people fucking hate me. I think anyone
Well-
can understand that that's what happened. And again, back to the topic at hand, back to the thing that we're talking about. You understand that my problem with you specifically, having been sent my docs, is I don't want you or anyone's really, but especially not someone who I feel has been credibly accused of doxing, to have my
haven't
public
doxed anybody.
information.
I
just
haven't
don't
doxed
want that
anybody,
to happen.
and you've
So
and you've
I'm
told me-
really
and you've told
curious,
me-
and I'm going to ask you again, and I want you to take some time and find out who the fuck is distributing my docs.
I actually don't know. I can
Okay.
look.
Okay.
I've never like. I mean, I don't. Obviously, it's me. So I obviously you wouldn't. The only reason I even told you I saw it, right, is
You
because
didn't
I'm
tell
letting
me
you
that you saw it. You
Well,
told
right
your
now- how-
stream.
Oh, sorry, on my stream. Well, obviously you would have seen. Sorry, you're right. Correct. That was my stream that I saw it. I saw it to verify the claim that was being made because at that point it was just a claim. I verified that what was being alleged had occurred, and then I took corrective action because I don't tolerate that behavior. Just like I don't like doxing.
You called the person who did that your friend, and you said
were.
that you were going to let him back into your server in a couple months.
If they yes. So I am not somebody that.
And to be clear to the audience, this person is a person who not only doxed me, but they have been credibly accused of doxing Lav in the past, that
So they-
we have evidence that they have engaged in A-logging behavior. They wrote a whole fucking program to go into different servers, log every single message sent in that server, and post it on their public website. This person has a history of behavior, right, for years,
Okay.
and we've known about this for years, right, of them engaging in doxing, A-logging, stalking, harassing.
The only instance of doxing that I've ever seen them engage in is when they reposted a tweet that had a photo of you, but in the caption of the tweet it was your name, and that would be dissemination of PII, which is why they're not in my server, right? Would that be such a bad act where I believe you're irredeemable over it? Absolutely not, which is why if they know they fucked up, which I've made sure over and over again that they do, and are unwilling to repeat such an act again, and legitimately apologize for it, I'm not gonna completely brand them as forever bad over reposting a tweet. Right?
What if he has a pattern of this behavior? What if we can demonstrate that this individual has not only doxed me, but other people in the past, and has disseminated the personal information of other people who specifically did not want it to happen? If I could show you that information, right? If I could show you that evidence, would you still let this person back in your server in a couple months?
Depends on what you show me. If it demonstrates some major failure in character, then probably not. No, I'd have to see exactly the specific instances that occurred, what the context was, and then make an assessment about what type of person would go and do that, and then as a result, decide if I could legitimately believe they're capable of remorse and change. And if they are, and can go through the effort of said change, then I would probably be fine. But if it's a pattern, it's probably less likely to be. That I would probably reasonably believe, like there'd be a much higher burden.
Yeah, so like say they did it not just to me, not just to one other individual, but let's say over the course of 3 years, they've done it to 3 different individuals.
Yeah, that'd be fucked. I'd probably
Be a good pattern of behavior, right?
Yep, you just have to show me I guess you just have to prove it to me, and I would happily then engage when it's
we'll
provided.
gather that information. We'll gather
I just
that.
like this whole like
I actually
it
have
just
some.
it's like this like it just this whole thing. I feel like if people actually care, because I've demonstrated that I don't want people. You getting doxxed does nothing good for me, okay? Because I just want to win on my arguments. You getting doxxed just gives you guys an argument to then paint me or anyone around me as bad. I don't want you doxxed, which is why I took action, right? Because I also don't believe that's okay. I don't think you deserve that.
Yeah, but what
right?
kind of action
But
is a slap on the wrist for a month? What kind of
It's not
action is that? Like, does
Wait,
that
it's-
demonstrate
it's
that you
gonna
don't
be-
tolerate? Like, sorry,
gonna be
I'm going to ban you from my server for a
slap
month,
on
but
the-
you're still my friend. We'll
Wick,
still talk.
Wick, Wick, I'm sorry. It's not just a month, first of all. I have not stipulated a time period yet. I don't
You said
think.
in the we can play the clip if you need.
Did I say a month?
You said a month or 2.
A month or 2. Okay, so I wasn't. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you
a
weren't
month or 2.
specific, but a month or 2 for
So
again,
I don't know exactly. Yeah, I
distributing
don't
my
know.
PII into a public forum. And
So-
again, one of the reasons I'm not trusting you here is because when I asked you, okay, someone else had to have shown you my docs. Who was it? You're like, well, I just don't remember. I just don't know.
Wick, you yourself have said this has been an ongoing situation that's gone on for weeks before and weeks after. What happened to you is one component of a litany of allegations that have been made, all of which I've personally attempted to do my due diligence to verify, and multiple people have told me different things. So I will absolutely, right, look into that and
Please
figure
do.
out who did that, but I have no intention of distributing your PII.
Okay. But someone did, and my suspicion, and I can't prove this, my suspicion is that whoever sent you this proof that I got doxxed probably, and it may not have just been this person, it may have been multiple people doing this, also distributed this to other creators as also proof. And in the course of doing that, it was given to someone who has since taken that information and started posting it to Twitter. So my frustration
Who did that?
with
Who
the
posted
behavior,
it
hold on,
to Twitter?
my frustration with the behavior of the Snarkers and that community is at the very best, faith I can give you, the gross negligence to take something that you knew, that they all knew I did not want people to see, and spread it in such a
wouldn't
way
spread
that
it,
it got
right?
to someone who then started posting it on Twitter.
Well, then that's
Gross,
whoever. Well,
gross
yeah, that seems like a
negligence.
gripe between you and whoever was spreading it, right?
But I'm asking you who
I'll
did it.
try to figure that out. I'm being honest with you. I don't like. I will absolutely be. What I can tell you is, when stream is over, I will absolutely be able to have an answer within like maybe like an hour. Right? I'd have to go. I'd have to do digging and ask around. I actually don't remember. I would be absolutely willing to give you an answer today, and I could almost certainly figure it out. I just don't fucking know right now. Unironically, I have no idea.
Destiny, you had some questions. Go ahead.
No, I just said I would hop in if you wanted me. I don't have any questions. Fuck. What are you guys arguing about in here? Going on today?
Apparently, someone gave Mr. Aiden my docs after that debate, and he talked about it on stream. He talked about seeing my docs, what it was. He described it accurately, or how it was, at least the portion that was posted in the server that I saw. And I'm just real curious who did that, but he doesn't seem to remember.
I actually don't. What happened was I wanted to figure out whether or not the claim that was made was true. When I figured out that that claim was true, I then took corrective action. And in the course of figuring out whether that claim was true, I saw your docs through someone. I don't remember exactly who that was. I asked multiple people about this and had multiple conversations in relation to it. I also had conversations pertaining to other separate allegations unrelated to you in regards to what Dan was claiming about Windy Fox, etc. Because believe it or not, I don't want to be associated with people that are going around doxing people, and have vested interest in getting that out of my community. So in the course that I saw it at the moment, I actually just legitimately don't know, out of all the people I was talking to, who provided me with that evidence.
Yeah, but the reason my suspicion here is, in my worry, I guess maybe not my suspicion, but my worry is that you're going to take this hour after the stream to find a way to spin this and an answer that won't be honest, but instead be a CYA answer, because I think that you're worried that this implicates you in some things, or might
I'm not
implicate
worried.
friends of yours, right? Because, again, well, let me ask, once you were given it, did you show it to anyone else in private? Right? That,
no.
Here's a proof that Whick got doxxed.
No. Why would
No?
I do that?
Well, because if someone asked you, hey, I will need to see evidence of Whick getting doxxed, and you're
I'm
like,
not the one.
here's some evidence that he got doxxed.
Why would I be going around trying to prove your guys' claim for you? My only investment in it was for my own personal action to remove those people from my space, not because I was trying to prove it to other people. I've never disseminated the information I was given. I don't even know if I have.
To remove them for a month or two. These are someone you described as a friend. Let's read the clip. I got it.
Yeah,
Here.
sure.
Share the screen. I'm pretty sure this is it. Everyone got it up? Everyone able to see it?
Yep.
Okay.
That was not brought to anyone's attention and seemingly forgotten about. I've not seen any evidence since of this occurring since, right? When this was brought to everybody, when people were made aware of what had happened, everybody took action. Everybody. I unfortunately, despite being friends with the person that posted this PII, not through the Destiny shit, I was friends with him through Spicy or whatever. The person that posted this, I unfortunately had to remove them from my server. I say unfortunately because I don't think this is like a bad person that intended to go and like dox. I think they just saw a tweet and linked it. Unfortunately, that's still the dissemination of PII, and they're on our ass right now, and that's obviously something that needs to be moderated. If I know about it, is this person irrevocably damaged in my eyes? No. If they seem to understand that what they did was wrong, it was from like a year ago, and I probably will allow them back in my server at some point. So long as this behavior is acknowledged to be wrong, they can apologize for it, explain it, and we'll never do it again, right? It didn't happen in my server. It happened somewhere else.
It's not pre-made.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah, I don't think this is you taking this seriously. I don't. I think that you saying that he didn't intend to dox me. What did he intend to do with this? It was obviously personal information, right? We could at least see to that was obvious.
Yeah, it seems like you reposted your PII, which is why
yes.
I removed this
so
from my
when
server.
you say you don't think he intended to dox me, right? What do you mean by that?
I think he thought the photo of you was funny and then just like sent the tweet, but it had your name in it, so that would be your PII, and that wouldn't be okay.
Okay.
I don't think I'm saying anything that's that crazy here. I gotta be honest. I mean, if you feel like something I'm saying is like that off base, tell me. We can engage with that, but it just seems a little
I
performative.
think that you would have a far different standard if I found out that Mr. Mooten had posted your PII or someone that you were friends with PII in my server, laughed about it, and I said, oh, that wasn't intentional doxing. I think that you would rightly
Sure, so you
excoriate
can make
me
up a scenario, but
for
I've
saying
actually been consistent on this. Somebody posted my phone number and tried to get me swatted. That person, after significantly apologizing to me, explaining to me what was going through their mind at the time, and seemingly understanding how inappropriate that was, I forgave them. And I haven't, brought this up to them since. I don't really actively associate with them anymore, but if they wanted to, play video games or hang out or whatever, I wouldn't necessarily take issue with that. I've been consistent when it's happened to me, right? I'm a big believer in redemption. I'm a big believer in change. And I don't believe that people are like irrevocably bad so long as there is some understanding of wrongdoing and willingness to change. I've literally said this about Destiny. I've said I would be, if had I believed Destiny was genuinely remorseful for shit, I would be fine. I wouldn't be using this against them. I just don't believe that's the case, right? I hold the standard consistently.
Any
Wait,
thoughts?
so what are you guys arguing about right now? Are you talking about the tweet that was posted in that Snark server?
Yeah.
Yes. And apparently someone's been distributing it to at least to Aiden. I don't know who else. And I want to
And
know
wait. What
who's
was the
doing
quote
that.
about, or what is he saying about the tweet that was in the Snark server?
He's saying that, well, first of all, he, again, being banned from the Snark server, could not have seen it in the Snark server, so someone had to give it to him. And I'm curious who's passing around my docs. That's my first question, right? Because obviously, he was banned. He couldn't have checked it there. So where did he get it? He says he doesn't remember who gave it to him.
I unironically, as I said before, there were a litany of claims being made that I wanted to follow up on and verify to cover my own ass. And I spoke to a myriad of people about various things. And amongst those people, somebody at some point showed it to me. I actually don't remember which specific person it was, but I'm sure whichever of those people it was knew that I wouldn't disseminate it, right? And I didn't. I've never disseminated your docs. My only interest in verifying that
don't
this
care if
happened
they
was
thought
to
that
remove a
you would
doxer from my community.
I don't care if they thought you would distribute it or not. They were
Obviously
showing
not.
you my docs. I was not okay with you seeing my docs, or I would have given it to you as evidence, right?
I'm
You
sorry.
knew
I'll try to
that I
erase
was
it
not
from my mind.
okay with you seeing my personal name or information, and someone decided to give it to you, and I want to know who is doing that. Did they only give it to you, or did they give it to other people? Who else did they distribute it to? I'm very curious as the answer to these questions.
Sure, and I'd be happy to look in. As I said before, I'd be
Wait,
if
so
I
who was
gave
the person? Are you saying somebody else posted it in your community?
not no. I would have spoken to people privately about this. I was attempting to follow up with people that were in that server at the time, to verify that this did in fact happen, and you guys weren't making this up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I wasn't at the. And to be fair, I understand now, knowing the nature of what it was, why evidence couldn't be provided at the time. But obviously, I'm not necessarily going to take you guys at your word for it. Once I found out that happened, my only interest in figuring out that it happened was to take corrective action. And when I did, I took corrective action, because I don't condone doxing you, anyone around you, Whick. And it doesn't help me at all. It doesn't serve my purposes. It's a wrong thing to do. I don't want to get doxxed, so obviously I don't want to give you guys a justification to do it to me. And once that happened, the person was removed from my server.
What do you think it means that it was posted in that Snark server and nobody really said anything about it? Like nobody seemed to say this is probably not okay, or we shouldn't remove this, or
Sure. So it was like, what, 2 weeks into the server? I don't think everyone that was like presently in it when you guys got the logs had been in there at that point. But that shows a degree of negligence and stupidity that I'm not okay with.
why do you
Which
say
is what
negligence and stupidity?
negligence
Why
and
couldn't it?
stupidity,
Why not? Why
because
not
there should have
militia?
been there should have been enough moderation where a mod that saw that should have removed that, I guess, right?
Well, maybe a mod saw it and they decided not to remove it.
Well, if a mod saw it and decided not to remove it, then they're a bad person, and I would be
Sure.
happy
So
to
then it wouldn't
disavow.
be stupidity or negligence. Why would we assume that over just maliciousness?
So it's the stupidity. So I'm almost certain, knowing how I use Discord, I don't know how many servers you're in. I know I'm in a lot of servers where I personally don't see every single message. I'm sure the vast majority of people in that server never saw this instance. So the stupidity and negligence would be assumed in the instance of not having people on standby that would have seen this occurring and done it. If there was negligence occurring, which there very well could have been, right? Which there very well could have been, I would need to see some evidence of that and then be totally willing to condemn it. As I
Why
saw
didn't
it,
nobody reported it? Nobody told a mod? Nobody mentioned anything about it? People
they
just
should have.
saw. Well, but then again, why would you assume?
That would be negligence, right? If somebody saw whoever did
No,
verifiably see it,
it would be
that would,
they're supporting the
sorry,
content, right?
malice. I meant malice. I meant
Oh,
malice.
sure, yeah. So people responded to it, right?
People. I don't know if people are responding to it. I only saw the message in and of itself.
Well, I think was Rita the one who posted it or responded to it, and
Rita,
then QQ.
it was Rita that posted it.
Yeah, and then QQ laughed at it, right? Were they a mod in there at the time?
Did QQ laugh at it? I haven't. I thought Dan walked that one back.
No,
Well,
I can
I'm sorry,
confirm
let
he
me be
did.
clear. Hold on. I don't know if they laughed at it. I know they typed LOL. It is possible they didn't laugh in real life.
Well, I'm okay. Obviously, I'm not like I know what you mean, right? If they said I could grant you that, if they just typed LOL in response to it, that wouldn't be okay either, right?
Was
I just
QQ a
haven't
mod
seen
in there
that.
at the time?
I'm not sure.
If multiple people see a thing, like the obvious thing here is that like if multiple people saw the thing, and by the way, this was like you acknowledged the Rita person went searching for this, right? So they either found it on, I don't know, it's hard to keep up with all the doxes of people around me that get posted on Kiwi Farms, but they either went searching for his docs on Kiwi Farms or they went searching on Twitter for this, right? This didn't just pop up.
I guess they could have. I haven't figured. I don't know the exact process in which they found it. That could totally be possible as well. If that's true as well, that makes it worse.
Sure. Well, I mean, it must be what happened, right? Because the source of this thing is like 9 years old, I think, right? So
Yeah, if that's how that happened, then yeah, that's bad.
okay, so if we have a thing that was dug up from a long time ago, we've got responses in there that are kind of just like laughing at it, and then nobody ever reported this to any server mods, nobody mentioned it to anybody, then it seems like it's probably just like an acceptable norm for that server, no? Isn't that like the obvious thing?
Well, I don't know if it would be an acceptable norm if it only happened once, 2 weeks into the server, and then never happened again. And the second it was made aware to like anyone who actually has like a form of like influence, like the main critics, they immediately like took corrective action.
Well, the
When they
corrective
verified
action
it was
only came when it was blown up publicly, right?
I guess, but like for people,
No,
but like
not I guess, yes. The only
what?
corrective action happened
Well,
after we
no,
talked about it on
well,
Wick's
you know,
show,
but you
right?
no, that's not true. You blowing it up publicly was also the moment we found out about it. When was this presented to any of us in private prior to you blowing it up publicly? The public blow
Well,
up just coincides with us learning about it.
at the very least, Rita and QQ saw it. I don't know who else responded afterwards. I guess
Yes,
I
and
gotta
anyone
pull it
who
up
knew
and
about it that didn't take action at that point in time needs to answer for that because that's not okay, right?
It's not a matter of like anybody who knew about it though, right? Why? Like it's just like kind of probably a norm for the server at least at that
No,
time. And nobody cared much about it.
what interests do like for example people like me have
Okay,
and somebody
just
like
real
Whick getting
quick.
doxxed.
Just
It's
real
not
quick.
a norm.
Just
It
real
hurts
quick.
us.
I have a gentleman who says he was in the server, saw it happen, and can recount. I don't know if he's being serious, but let's, in the interest of my curiosity, I'll bring him on for a moment and see what he has to say. If it's bullshit, we'll just kick him. Hi, you're live.
Hello. So, I have questions about this because I was in the Snark Left server when
Okay.
this happened. I vaguely recall it. I'm pretty sure I was there. What I remember seeing was the aftermath. I never saw the actual docs, and I was told by people in the server that it was the PV leak. So it
Okay,
was
it was
like
not that, to be
considered.
clear.
Yeah,
you
and,
just
and I
wait.
trust you when you say that. So that's what I'm wondering, because that's what I was told. So like I was a member of the Snark Left server. I came into the server and I saw people talking about the docs. I never remember seeing the docs. And when I asked about it, I was told what it now seems like a bogus excuse that it was the PV docs, which in a lot of people's opinion at the time was like a low stakes kind of, oh, this is already leaked by this many people, so it's like just people disseminating like publicly sourced information, like, which is obviously still bad, obviously still not great. And by the way, Aiden, like what I want to what I want to ask to you, Aiden, is do you think that if somebody sources a bunch of publicly available information, gathers it, and then makes that person a target with their language, either moralizing language or something like that, do you think that's a dox?
Yeah, it depends on, so it can be, right? The qualifier for me would be whether or not the publicly available information was consent, like whether or not it was clear to the person whom the information belonged to that this link was established and they themselves either established that link or permitted it, right? So it wouldn't be a
And
dox, it wouldn't be a dox for you to post that my name is Aiden because I identify by that name. I've given you guys that
and
information
with Leo
voluntarily.
Convoy's wife, was this stuff that like they consented to posting, or was this stuff that was
Yeah,
just shared around by other people before you shared it?
yes, yes. So Lyle Convoy is a Lyle Convoy Facebook account. He voluntarily, in the course of debates, gave out their address, wife's last name, her occupation, age, etc. And then through her public Facebook account, which is still public, it ended up the Lyle Convoy account and her account interacted with one another regularly. So Lyle's present friend, this guy called Gilded Pooh, disseminated her face from the Facebook in a YouTube video with like 20,000 views years before I knew who either of these people were. And then after that point,
Right.
all this information had since been widely distributed, and they
Okay.
took no corrective action to remove or obscure
Just real
it.
quick, Duck, who
Yeah.
told you that it was the PV leak?
I don't remember. If I had to
People
guess,
don't
I
remember
remember
these
people that were
things.
active in the chat.
Why don't
Yeah.
you remember? Like this annoys me.
Why don't I? No, I'm saying that it was. I'm just telling you that I'm like I don't have the logs, right? Like the only people in this conversation that have the logs, presumably right now, are Destiny. So he can go back and verify, and he can actually tell us all who the person was. If I had to guess, I would think it was somebody who was involved in that exchange. So probably Rita or QQ. But I don't want to pin a like I don't remember. That's all the only reason I'm being like evasive with saying I don't remember. You know.
Mm.
It did seem to be the common thing said at the time that I think Queeman and Justical and a bunch of other people were saying like, oh, it was just the PV thing. It was the PV thing. So
Right.
that seemed to be the lie that they were going. So it really might not even matter who said it to her. That was just the lie.
And that's
that
what I
everybody was
believed at the
spreading.
time. Yeah, that's like basically when I saw that was like discussed in the server at the time. I think I even might have said something like, "What is it? What the fuck was leaked?" Because that would like determine how I would react and how much condemnation I would give people.
Weren't you threatening to dock Psycho?
What does that have to do
No,
with
I
anything?
no.
Wait, don't even
You
take, don't
remember
What
even
is
take debate.
Aiden?
Don't even
what
take
is
debate. Don't
wait
take
wait
debate. Don't
wait
take debate.
Destiny no what is wait Destiny what is
Aiden,
her
you were
bringing
part
up
of
what is
that
her bringing up
call.
my
I
Hold on,
past
hold on,
drama?
hold on. We can
I'm
have
sorry,
we can have that
she just
conversation another
brought up
day.
a
We're not
past
having
doxing
that
act
conversation
she
today.
just okay I'm just
I
so we're
don't know
clear,
her.
just
I
so
don't
we're
know
clear,
anything about
just
her.
so we're
It's
clear,
possible
she
I
just
will
brought up a
disavow
past
everything
doxing
she is and
Okay, I
was
know.
and will ever be.
just
I don't
brought
know.
up
Aiden, really
a
quick.
Stop.
past
Stop.
why did this
Stop.
why did nobody
Stop.
why didn't
Stop.
okay
Stop.
so
So
Today we're
Aiden, you
talking.
asked me in the
Stop. You
course of
too.
that call
You
if it was
too.
if it was a
You
joke.
too. What we're talking about today, right, is the Snark server, the debate that Aiden had with Destiny, and who is still distributing my docs. Those are the three things that I am curious about.
well,
That
then why didn't
I
you
would like
interrupt
to
her?
talk
Well, then
about.
why didn't you
Yeah.
interrupt her when she was bringing up an unrelated allegation of doxing
I
against
brought her
me
on
and a
because
completely
she
separate?
said
Yeah.
she said that she was there when my docs was
Yes.
discussed, and I wanted to see what she had to
Yeah,
say.
but it's interesting to notice there was no moderation at that point when she went off topic to try to bring up an accusation against me in an unrelated matter. Yet when I do it, that's when we want to interrupt and take issue with that. I think
No,
it's
I
like
asked
clear
you,
that
yeah.
I think it's
And
like
I asked you
obvious.
about the Leo Convoy stuff because I want you to I want to get a better understanding of what you think when you what you mean when you say doxing.
Well, and maybe I
Because
was just asking
I
about Ico
personally
to figure
believe
out
that
what
what
you
you
mean.
did was still disseminating a dox in like a way that was irresponsible and could have possibly caused harm to the party. Involved.
I could actually totally agree with you that it was irresponsible for
Yeah.
sure. I just don't think it was doxing.
I don't think that like this whole like oh it's only doxing when it's this hyper specific definition.
Well,
I
it's
don't
not
think that's really like
hyper-specific.
benefiting anybody in this discussion because the problem is that we're invoking harassment on people that are uninvolved parties in this, right?
You
So
considered it
even it doesn't matter
doxing.
how
Didn't you
how you
consider it
got the
doxing? Yeah,
information,
but
you
did,
still decided
don't you
to harass
consider
an
it
uninvolved
don't you
party.
consider it doxing when people post your face that you streamed with your camera on?
No, I don't.
You accused
What do you
Spicy
mean?
Chat in the debate with me.
No,
You
I've
accused
never accused that. I've never.
because
No,
there
I
was
don't
a
know what you're
second
talking about, Aiden.
because there was a second. It
Okay,
was literally in
Duck,
the debate.
thanks
It's
for
you might be
publicly
calling in.
repeating
available.
stuff that's
Thanks
just
for
like
calling in.
through the
I think
Publicly
that
available.
Yeah,
think
Have a
that,
good one. Bye.
yeah, I appreciate you.
Yeah, just so we're clear, that did happen. It's publicly available, but
Fair enough. I don't know. I just find this is my problem. Well, can I just ask you this, Aiden? Do you now believe or trust Destiny more than you did before the debate after having found out that he was simply correct and you were incorrect in the nature of the server?
On the specific claim that there was wrongdoing occurring in that server, obviously, because I've seen evidence that
but
wrongdoing was
would
occurring in
you?
that server.
So since he was correct on that, does it in your mind make it more likely that his other claims might also be correct? Does
Sort of.
the chance of that increase in your mind at all?
Sort of. It's going to depend on the claim because I obviously know that Destiny is personally connected to this story and has vested interest in making a lot of the people involved look bad. And just with that fact in mind, and it's the same thing, by the way, with the which is why I wasn't immediately accepting of like claims that were being made against Destiny in regards to the fucking whatever her name is, the Brit shit or whatever, right? I believe I will be like I'll take it on a claim by claim basis, and I'll try to figure out whether or not it's like a case of is he attempting to do some narrative control to flip something to make the opposition look bad, or could there be like something genuinely there? And there could be, right? In this instance, there was, especially when it pertained to you. I'd have to take it on a claim by claim basis, but my standard is going to be I'm going to need some evidence before I just accept a claim at face value. And I have that with everybody, right? I have that with everybody. Even when it's claims that work against you guys, all I ask for is evidence. Believe it or not, I don't want the people around you to get doxxed because it's not a good thing to do, and it looks bad for me. And if that was occurring and I was told about it and provided evidence for it, I am totally willing to take corrective action.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What is confusing about that?
I think that again, I suspect, and I can't prove, that you seem to be very eager and willing to take people's word for it when they say that no bad actions are occurring here. But when you were presented with, first of all, when I was presented with evidence and you simply did not trust my word, and
I don't know
then
you.
later
I
on,
like-
right, when more evidence came out and things like that, have you switched your position on JStalk on this?
Have I switched my position in regards to what specifically?
Sure, to his actions in regards to Destiny and their little beef.
So I haven't even begun to try to dive into that because it's just super convoluted. But if I haven't made a claim that he either did or didn't do something, I don't really know. Just for context, I only recently reestablished like communication with this guy. I've heard allegations that he was distributing CP, and then I looked into that. I didn't. I've heard like a defense, and I've heard a counterclaim. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, if you're claiming that some significant wrongdoing is occurring, I'd be happy to look into it. But I'm not like close to JStalk or anything. We don't really talk.
Okay.
I'm curious, what's like the consensus opinion on Doobie right now?
I don't really. I don't know. In regards to the miners role in the politics or whatever, I think that's a fucking horrible idea.
Well, not just the
Obviously,
miners role, but there's the miners role, the fact that he says he's made multiple copies of CP to help the FBI, that he lets pedos into the server, that they have a 16-year-old mod that they've met up with in real life, that he's okay with pedophiles coming in and talking sexually about things in the server that minors are looking at. Like,
yeah, that
these are all
shit.
like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a completely responsible moderation or whatever. I mean, look, I don't know Doobie like at all. I spoke to this guy once, like 4 years ago on a Prime K's panel. I'm not like as like you have to understand. I'm not like this locked in. I'm like the
Yeah,
anti.
I'm
This
not
is
saying you're a lot. I'm not expecting you. I'm not so much expecting you to have a strong opinion. I'm curious, why do you think that like nobody else in that circle seems to be talking about it at all?
Well, probably because they believe that your description, and probably because they believe that your description is maybe inaccurate. I would imagine, or that you're
Well, but
trying
Doobie
to.
hasn't contested any of the description I just gave. Literally, he said half the things, or all the things actually that I've tweeted out. They're
Well,
just,
have as Quayman or JStalk ever like come out and like endorse the notion of like having minors in the politics server?
no, but they just don't address it. They won't talk about it, and they just fix it on me.
Well, I mean, if asked about it and if they're asked about it directly and refuse to talk about it, then I'll absolutely call them for that because I think it's a horrible idea to have minors in your servers, right?
Okay. I'd be curious. Well, not just minors, but also minors, and the fact that the server owner admits that there are pedophiles in there. He's okay with them hunting minors so that he can collect CSAM to give to the FBI to turn these people in, and
Wait,
these are all kinds of Doobie's made. Yeah.
he said he's wait, he said he's okay with pedophiles being in the server to hunt minors.
because it allows him to help. You're laughing, but like, yeah, I know.
Well,
Clearly,
it's just like a crazy. I mean, like
it is crazy. I do agree with you. No, I'm actually not making fun of you. It is crazy, but he's literally said this because it allows him to hunt some of these guys and then turn them into the FBI and everything. There's an explicit audio of him talking about how like he's okay with like pedophiles having discussions about, or it depends on the context, but it can be okay for them to have discussions about sexual activity while there are minors in the voice chat talking as well. Like, yeah, these are all things he said. I'm not accusing you of not looking into it. I'm just curious, like, assuming everything I'm saying is true or half of it is true, and I've tweeted out like tons of clips of all this stuff, and Doobie hasn't denied any of it. It's kind of weird that Justical and Queeman and these guys like don't even talk about it, right?
Well, okay. So if what you're saying is exactly as it occurred, then yes. I would venture to guess that if I was to look into it, there would probably be some dispute in your description, which they would probably like provide as a justification why they're not
Okay.
talking about it. I'd have to
So
listen to that argument and then accept
Sure.
it
for
based on
ten
whether or not I
dollars,
find it to
just
be
real
valid.
quick, for $10, Parallax says Steven is lying through his teeth right now. Doobie has
About
never
what?
said this.
Said which thing? I can probably find it on my Twitter if you want. I'll also be right. 1 second.
I don't know. He's getting it. If you want
Yeah,
to come
is this-
on, Para, just jump backstage and we can talk about it. But these are the
Is
claims
Doobie
being
allowed
made.
to call in? Because someone in my chat is like implying that he might not be allowed in here. Is that true? Or
Well, it depends who. Like I banned some people. Who is it?
no, I'm saying would Doobie himself be allowed to come in here?
That's up to for this discussion. I would be okay with it.
Okay. Well,
But again, I now have me and Doobie are not friends, to be clear. I think that
I know, but if the guy's having like serious claims made about him, I think he's
but
the right to come in
I
and
would
dispute
not
them.
have an issue if Doobie wanted to answer to this and he wanted to jump backstage and be pulled in. Fair enough. I would not object to it.
Do you think that do you also think it's weird that Justical is like so afraid of touching the Cherry stuff that he is like willing to cede any conversation, debate, like challenge Dan and then backed out from it? What do you think he's hiding there, or why do you think he has that position on that?
Because I think he's too personally connected on that front, obviously, and to talk about it would probably involve like getting into personal details about her or himself that are probably unideal for him to talk about. I agree that I'm somebody of the belief that you should always show up for the debate, which is why I came to
Wait,
this
isn't that
conversation.
kind of weird that
But
he was so okay digging into so many personal details around me and having Cherry on his stream while lying about dating her for months? Isn't that kind of not fair?
I mean, I think that would probably be a double standard, obviously, right? If
And kind of
obviously
misleading too, right?
if he said that he hadn't been dating her and he was, yeah, that would be
Yeah.
misleading. If
Okay.
what you're saying is true, I would agree with your descriptive statements. The only contention would be obviously I haven't looked into it, so I'm not accepting that as it's 100% true. But if it is, then yeah, I think that would be an accurate. Probably it would be accurate to describe the scenario you've just laid out as misleading. The only contention would be I just want to figure out if that happened.
Sure.
Interesting. Yeah, I am very curious to see who will say what after this. This has been an interesting conversation. You also said, well, you said, do you still stand by the claim that you won the debate? Is that still something that you think that has happened, given all the things we've talked about today, all the things that have happened since the debate, all the discourse that has gone on? Do you still stand by your statement here that you were successful in beating Destiny?
So from the position, yes, I felt as though at that point in time, Destiny failed to provide evidence that that accurately demonstrated his claim. Evidence was provided to you personally that was not given to me that demonstrated the claim. But in the course of that debate, it was not presented. When I was given that evidence after the fact, I revised my position. But from the claim that there was not enough evidence to justify the descriptive statement being made, I believe I was correct in that, and that wasn't disputed in its entirety at the time. Yeah.
Okay. Guess we'll let people decide for themselves. Did you have anything that you wanted to talk to me or Destiny about, that you wanted to question us or have me answer for? Or
Do you think that if, just curious, do you think that if Justical ever made the statement, I will literally never fuck somebody from this community in a million years, book it and cancel me if I ever fail to live up to this? If Justical had made that, yeah, if he had made that statement while secretly dating Cherry, while platforming her allegations against me and saying that they had no romantic relationships, isn't that would be pretty fucked, right?
Yeah, and I've called on that one. So I've seen the exact message you're referring to. I gave Jay Stock shit for the cherry stuff. That was part of the reason. I was kind of poking fun at that at the time in an unrelated conversation we were having. That was part of the reason we initially felt I've given him shit over that, right? I absolutely believe that like you said that statement isn't true, and it would be retarded to say something like that. End of slating.
Food Chops, hello.
Hello, hi.
You had something to say? Go ahead.
Yes. So, Aiden, you said that I was running from you.
Well, because you were.
What is the topic? What is the topic you want to talk about?
I don't even remember what I wanted to debate you on at the time. I just remember you were making a claim about me
Okay.
on stream, and I wanted to debate you on
So,
a.
okay, so just to be very clear, okay, I have debated people who are far smarter than you, okay, and even they ran away, all right? So, it's not
Wow.
about that, it's that you like I already debated you 2 times. Okay, like what else do you want to talk about, I guess, that we haven't
Well, you're
already
making.
covered?
I don't remember exactly. So obviously, I said this weeks. It's weird that you're coming in now. Well, Destiny's here to follow up on that debate because I'd asked you.
Well,
How long
I
ago did I
mean,
ask you to debate me? I don't remember exactly what I wanted to
no,
debate you on
just
at the
ignore
time.
him. Just ignore him. Okay.
I just
If he
remember. I
says
just
anything, I'll
remember.
shut him up. Okay.
No, I'm no, no,
If
I'm
he says
no,
anything,
no.
I'll tell
I'm
him to
not
shut
saying
up.
he's doing. I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong right now. I'm saying it's just like I think it's a little cowardly for you to not take the offer up at the time and only now show up when he's here. I think that's like a little bit cowardly, right?
Well, it's because Wick told me. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, Aiden's
Well,
here.
you
I'm like,
okay?
okay.
So you didn't know that I was trying to debate you at the time?
Okay, would you consider it
Can
cowardly,
you
like
answer my
after debating
question?
you
Can you
twice?
answer my
Like, why would
question?
you
Can you
consider
answer my
it cowardly after
question?
debating you
Can you answer my
twice? And then,
question? Did you know that I wanted to debate you at the time?
are we gonna debate about the topic you want to talk about or not?
So you
Okay,
can't
so
answer.
hold
So you can't
on.
answer the
Hold
question.
on, both
Got
of
it.
you. If you guys are just going to argue about another debate that has nothing to do with this, I don't particularly give a shit. I
Yep.
don't care. Do you have
So
anything
true.
for Aiden on this specific topic that we're talking about tonight, Food Chops?
Nope. Outside of the fact that I think I just feel bad for Aiden, just primarily because it just feels like he's being used as a pawn by people like Queeman and Jay Stelk. I find it kind of sad that Queeman and Jay Stelk wouldn't debate Steven after that one, especially like Chud Logic blowout, right? And I think that Aiden, I think you're just being used and
Is Queeman refusing a
yeah.
debate with Steven? I don't.
Well, what Queeman could do right
No,
now.
I mean,
Hold on,
Steven
just
has
real
said
quick.
many
What
times, like, oh
Queeman
yeah,
could
you
do
can
right
kind of.
now, if he wanted, and someone could DM him, right? And I'm sure people will. He could jump backstage right now in my Discord, and I will pull him in, and he can have a chat with Destiny and I. That is something that he could do. But Food Chops, if you don't have anything else, thank you for calling in. I do
No,
appreciate
nothing
it.
else. Yeah, all right.
And we'll talk to you later. Okay. But J
Okay,
Stalk
wait.
too, right? What's up,
Oh,
Destiny?
that guy's nowhere near any of this. I'm just curious. Have you seen all the doobie things?
No, I've seen.
Wait, no, I'm asking. Why I was asking
Oh,
Wick. Have you
oh,
seen the
sorry.
doobie things?
I haven't. My big beef with Doobie is he's broken my trust a few times. In the most recent time, I do believe that he used what should have been a private thing as basically a human shield to protect him from criticism.
Sure.
In a
That's
way that
fine.
I found reprehensible.
Okay, wait, I'm curious. Can we just run through a few things? I'm just curious what the.
Hello?
Wait, he'll come back.
Yeah, it might have been his internet.
I want to know what the Wick TV audience thinks of some of these things. I feel like they're kind of crazy,
Throw 'em
but maybe
to
I'm
me
just
and we'll
exaggerating.
swatch.
Yeah, sorry, my shit just crashed.
Okay.
Mm.
Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pull him up. And hopefully people can read these. So, where is this from? Do we have context here?
I think they're just things that he's posted in his server.
Okay. Doobie says, I don't think I've ever verbally asked for consent from a woman. Thorfinn, yo, big Doobie fan. Vulcan, the Spanish Civil War is never really considered the starting point. Okay, who cares? Doobie says, and I've been with a lot of women. I hate listening to trans people speak. They they other sound like fucked up, breathy, drug addicted hookers or else. I think that's mean, but I don't think that's necessarily.
Yeah. Next one. Go ahead.
Give me a second. Boom, boom. Okay, Lethal Lance says, I think the question was, would you allow a pedophile to describe anal sex in the presence of a minor? And your answer was, it depends. Doobie says, that wasn't the question, shake my head. I think discussing sex around them is fine in some contexts. We're talking about primarily high school students right now. They've gone through sex ed. Anal sex? Anal cavity? Anal? Doobie says, as long as it isn't too graphic or flirty, I think it's fine. Would depend on the specific combo, though.
Here's a next one.
This is North says, did taking screenshots of the evidence mean you had CSAM on your computer? Doobie says, while I was reporting it, sure. This is why I mentioned the Gideon thing yesterday. Sometimes you do need to make copies of it to report it. Valorfax says, not the one for sending your own photos at your own consent. And Doobie says, then you delete all the copies. Obviously, I'll show you.
Next one.
This is from his admin chat. It looks like in the politics Discord server. Parth says, yes, I did. Of course, I can do that. What do you mean? Because I told them everyone to join the discussion and reach common ground before detaining. And when I wrote that, I actually didn't even look into that case. It was due to unnecessary unexplained detains that was previously dealt with. Parth says, I have a few stuff to say on that. I feel like it doesn't really address what I said, but I'll try to respond after I complete this thing quickly. Doobie says, take your time, sir. I'm curious, though. If we found out that this guy lived in a country with an age of consent of 14, and he was talking to a 15-year-old from another server sexually in DMs, would you say he should be banned? Or do you think we shouldn't ban because there's no connection to this server? Knives says, I don't know why you're acting like Terry doesn't know any better. Dude literally sends thousands of DMs to minors and spends retarded amounts of money on e-girl who are openly taking advantage of him. It's not healthy for this dude to be on the server. Knives also, in response to the I'm curious, though, question of Doobie, says, I'm pretty sure Discord is strict that sexual conversations cannot occur with individuals under 18. Doobie says, yeah, but if it's happening elsewhere, why would it be on us to enforce that?
Next one.
There was a 16-year-old girl at the mod team meetup because she was also a mod.
What is he referring to his server there?
Yes.
Okay.
Next, quick kind of thing, kind of a weird thing issue he had with a person on that server. Tell me what you think he's doing there.
So Doobie says, fingers crossed. I dug into Lucian a bit and narrowed him down to like 75 students. Excuse me, Fleek says, 75 students? Fuck does that mean? Doobie says, I found his college in the section that houses freshmen and singles. So I know he's in one of 2 dorms. I looked through the clubs at the school because he'd mentioned a club in his major, and they're like 75% Asian. So if it's actually white, he's one of 100 students. And that's with like bare minimum info. Excuse me, Fleek says, give me his info so I can dox him next, JK.
Then last thing, just a quick audio thing, so we don't have the out of context meme. Let it play for like 3 minutes, and you can decide if you want to keep it.
Actually, like molesting children, right? Because I think that person would be dangerous to have on the server. But I mean somebody who has like an attraction to children. Because I consider pedophilia to be potentially, but I think that pedophilia is like it's a paraphilia, right? So it's a mental illness, basically. We consider it to be a mental illness, and these people don't choose to have it. They develop that way. So I think it'd be very interesting to like. I mean, I know a couple of people who are pedophiles and who are going to like therapy and been going to therapy for years to try to like.
So you're saying you allow?
It's sort of like conversion therapy, where they try to shift their attraction upwards over like years of therapy and like conditioning. It's very, very difficult, and it's usually not successful.
So
Right?
you'd allow
So I
pedophiles
think
in the
that's pretty
server?
interesting.
You'd allow
No, I've
pedophiles in
got
the
a
server?
question to that. No, you've already asked that question. I want to ask a question. If there was like, you know, you was allowed to allow pedophiles within the server, would you get rid of the minors then to protect them, or would you keep the minors within the server also?
Yeah, no, I still allow them.
What kind of fucking conversation did I join?
Like the
Wait,
reality
so
is that most people
Server
who molest
politics.
children are not like pedophiles. Right?
wait,
They're like
so
sexual opportunists.
Doobie, you would allow
When I say
pedophiles?
pedophile, I mean somebody has a primary attraction to children, right? So when they are thinking about things they're attracted to, children are first, right? That's a pedophile. But if somebody is attracted to adult women primarily, but if the opportunity to fuck with a 15-year-old comes up, they're gonna do it. That person's just a sexual opportunist, and that's the majority of child molesters, right? So it's kind of
Still a lot of people in my
Wait,
the risk
Doobie,
exists just having adults on the platform.
wait, let
in
me ask
general.
this real
Like, I
quick.
don't know how
Let
to-
me ask this real quick. Doobie, you would allow pedophiles and minors in the server together?
Yeah.
Wait, you need
Like, the reality
Jesus,
is
man.
that up to like 5% of the male population has like pedophilic tendencies, right? And that's just like the pedophilic tendencies. I'm not talking about sexual opportunists. I'm sure
Bro,
more of the male
don't
population
project
are
your
sexual
fucking
opportunists
creepy tendencies
who would
onto the
fuck a
general
Is
15-year-old
this
if
is
they had
this
the
all, or
opportunity
do
to,
we?
right?
Are you being dead
So-
ass right now?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
You said who
Yeah,
wouldn't
don't
fuck a
project your creepy
15-year-old?
fetishes onto the whole general populace, my guy. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, like
Do it.
Because
I'm
you
gonna
None
say
of
justify
none of
everything
that's
everyone
5%.
guys.
else.
Keep
That's
it in
5%.
perspective.
There's
None of you guys own a giant server where everyone's expected to talk about different opinions and get along. He's, I'm sure, developed this position because of the fact that he runs a server like this.
So did I hear this correctly? And maybe you guys can, maybe Aiden, since you're kind of like the neutral party here. Doobie says that he would allow pedophiles and minors in the server together. That's one thing I heard. That seems, it's weird because people give me shit for having food shops in the server, right? Even though I have no minors in my server, and if we find a minor in my server, we ban it. Do they have a similar problem with Doobie here? I'm very curious.
Well, personally, I mean, I would, if this is all the context, assuming this is all the context, and it seems like this last part was in context. I think this is like hyper debate for autism to the point where you're like trying to logically reason through wildly reckless decisions, and I think this is obviously like a fucking horrible like thing to even risk. So yeah, I mean, you're not gonna find any defenses from me on that one, right? Yeah.
Do you think, I'm just curious because everybody made a big deal about me having child porn and Willie calling the FBI was the right decision and all this, based on the fact that he himself said, Doobie said that he makes copies of child porn. We don't actually know if he gives any of that to the FBI, right? Do you think it would be valid to make a report about him?
If you, I mean, I guess if you had like, if
He said it to a person, he literally said, I make copies of it, yes, before deleting it. He said that exactly, right?
I guess I didn't even I don't know if I even defended Willie Mack reporting you to the FBI.
No, I'm not saying you defended or anything. I'm just saying
Yeah.
that, like, for whatever evidence people think there is of me, and if they thought I was just coping about being in a court case or whatever, there was no pressure on Doobie. He just freely offered that he makes copies of child porn from minors on his server that are being hunted by the pedophiles that he allows to hunt there.
I guess to remain consistent on it, but in his instance, right, the context would indicate he's probably volunteering this information because, I mean, he's probably volunteering this information because he doesn't actually think that he's doing anything wrong, when in reality, obviously, we know that possession of CSAM is illegal, and if he was now admitting to being in possession of it, that is illegal, right? I don't know if he seems to indicate that he's not presently in possession because he's saying he just used it to make the reports, but that would still be illegal, right? At that point, it's like, but if you're to report it, like it seems to indicate that he doesn't even have it on his shit anymore. So I don't know what that would get you, but I mean, I guess to remain consistent, yeah.
I think it's also, isn't it kind of weird that on the server there's literally a tag for minors? There's like 1,900 people that are tagged.
Yeah, so I've had that. So I got that. I don't know if I have to I rejoined the server recently to make sure to check if I still had it. I was given that tag. I'm not obviously I'm not a minor, but I know I look a little younger or whatever. So I had that tag. I know I can vouch from personal experience that the only thing that tag got me was an annoyance because I joined and people wouldn't be willing to interact with me, and I'm pretty sure I was removed from at least one VC because I was suspected of being a minor, and I had to like prove I wasn't, I guess, and I didn't want to have to go send people my fucking ID or anything. So yeah, but I don't. That's obviously there's no reason to have minors in spaces like that, right? I mean, especially it gets just a liability, right?
So I'm being told, Destiny.
Wait, before you're being told something, you had a mod earlier. I think it was a mod, Parallax, that donated $10 and said, Steven is lying through his teeth right now. Doobie has never said this. What did I lie about?
Good question. Now, I will say, and Parallax told me to tell you this, that he, let me read it directly, that he's not jumping on a stream with you after a DGGer implied he was going to dox me, and I'm quoting, going to dox me, then held a 90-minute argument about me in politics. And that is on Destiny.
Wait, why would that matter? If they were going to dox him, wouldn't they just say, well, I'll dox... Wait, hold on. If that DGGer said, assuming this is even a DGGer, right? If they had said, well, I'm going to dox Doobie if he doesn't show up and debate Destiny, does that mean he would suddenly debate me? That's like the dumbest argument you could ever give for anything, right?
I'm telling you what he said to tell you that...
Oh, sure, I know. I'm just illustrating how absurd that argument is, right?
Wait, is that the Parallax guy saying he personally was threatened to be doxxed, or is he talking about Doobie threatening to be doxxed?
No, he's saying that he was in a couple days ago, and he did send me screenshots of someone named Reverse Knee, and saying, this is what he said. He said, yeah, and this is Reverse Knee saying it. He says, yeah, and when others are aware, you're going to have to find a new hobby, big boy. I'm going to love watching you flail for a real job, you fat fucking loser. These are the things that he said. And this is what Parallax told me that he felt was a doxing threat under the context that the conversation took place in. And he's telling me that this is why he won't jump on a stream with you, because he is worried that he's going to be doxxed if he does.
I mean, if he was still worried about the doxing thing, one, didn't I make these threats to him personally like a year ago? And didn't he still continue to go from server to server arguing why it would be fair game to dox my 14-year-old kid?
No, this is Parallax, not Doobie. Hold on. No, Doobie. Parallax never did that. This is...
Oh, wait, I'm so sorry. Hold on. I thought that Parallax was relaying a message from
No,
Doobie
this is Parallax
to...
personally.
That's them saying,
Yep.
They're independently retarded. I thought they were conveying somebody else's retardation. Okay.
Yep, nope. That's his statement, not...
Is it not? Do you not think it would be? Do you not think it's fair for people to reasonably be concerned about getting doxxed by someone from your community if they were to get in a debate with you, because it would blow their name up within your community itself? Like you'd brought up clips of me prior to me talking to you, but I never got like that much shit over those clips. It wasn't until I actually like went and spoke to you that I started getting people to like threaten to contact my family. And I understand that you can't control.
Can you show Whick? Can you convey to Whick one of those threats right now?
Yeah, one of the threats made against me.
No. You said people were threatening to contact your family.
Yes. So, for example, I think it was someone saying, I'm a pedophile and my brother is about to get a call about me and my school. This person only started replying to me after I had gone and debated you.
Wait, where is this at?
On X. I can link it to Whick.
I'm just curious to look through.
Do you mind if I show people, like if I put it on stream or no?
Sure.
Once you DM it to me, I haven't gotten the DM. But once you DM it to me, we can do that.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just fuck my. Here it is. My shit got fucked up. All right. Control. There it is.
Okay, pull it up.
This is just the most recent one, by the way. I mean, I can go back. Obviously, I'm not blaming you. I don't think you can. I mean, obviously, I think calling me fair game kind of leaves it open to interpretation. But I'm only saying.
So this was sent 16 hours ago. You said, "Is this true?" It's a reply to this person making a poll on whether you're not a doxer or not. Apparently, 90% of the people think you are.
No, they had one like and 50 votes. That whole account is operated by AI.
Well, it has 17 likes in this, but fair enough. Batman Turd says that you're a pedophile. Yes, and your brother is about to get a call about you and your school.
Yes, and then in another reply, I can find that one as well. He was accusing me of working with Doobie to distribute CSAM.
Okay, this is someone with 21 followers.
Yeah, and this Denal person had also said they were gonna contact my family. So, and you've retweeted them, by the way. I'm not saying obviously you could have predicted that, but
Wait, hold on, wait, which person?
Denal.
Oh, wait, that person said they were going to contact your family?
Yeah, they were gonna let my grandma or something know about my drama and shit or whatever, and my like my grandma in Florida or some shit. It was like a yeah. I'd have to go look for the specific tweet. I don't have that up right now.
Well,
I
let me
pulled it
just
up
ask you,
before.
Destiny, if that's true, if this Denal person is threatening to contact his family, are you gonna do anything about it or what?
I mean, I don't
I don't expect you
generally
to.
condone that kind of behavior. At this point, I am a little bit indifferent to it, just because I've had to deal with it for so long, and none of these other communities ever really want to take a strong stance against it. Just curious, if you had to guess just by looking at who this person follows, like where this guy's mind is, I'm so curious. I just looked this account up. And this is just like the account. This is the first one that was linked. I didn't plan this. I don't know anything about anything or whatever, but I'm just curious.
So this is that Batman Turd's following list.
Mhm.
He follows me. Wow. He follows Queeman, Gokanuru, Windy Fox, David Sachs, Fan, this is Birdie, Cook Sucks. I don't know who these people
Do you
are.
not think it's do you not think if he's like some of his replies are about like me distributing CSAM with this doobie guy who I've only spoken to once on a prime case panel like 4 years ago or some shit, right? If that was the broader claims, is it not fair to probably assume he's coming from this like broader space? I'm not once again, I don't think either of you are responsible for this. And I'm not bringing this up to accuse you of wrongdoing. The reason I'm bringing this up is to substantiate why others might have some reasonable fear that if they got into a conversation, they'd potentially be a risk of being doxxed.
My curiosity is like, how do you even know this guy's a DGG guy? Is it
Well, the
not
talking
possible?
To be clear,
Just
he's not necessarily saying he's a DGG. He's just saying that if you engage in a certain level of conversation with me, then that means that people might rightfully be afraid of having a conversation with me, right? Because they're going to get harassed by people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I actually think that's actually fair to point out.
Yeah.
But then I would say that that's kind of been my entire issue with this community for a long time, is that this is the exact type of behavior that they engage in. I linked that other tweet. I would be surprised if this is actually a fan of mine. It might be a bot. It might be one of the
Yeah, he says
Snarker
this
people.
isn't real moron Jew.
Especially given
you
the
can
followers.
you can't there's a million like fucking 20 follower accounts that have been popping up, so like obviously we don't know who's coming from where, but that's why I'm not blaming anyone for that. I'm just saying like this is a hot situation. Obviously people on both sides are getting fucked with, and it seems like the people or the bots or whoever that are expressing willingness to fuck with people only came about after I spoke to you, not like saying that you I'm just saying there would be
but that's the whole thing that I think Destiny has been pointing out, is that if you engage with him, people will target you. They did me. They did Tolly. They did Stardust. They did others, right? And it looks like that they're doing it to you too.
But if this person is accusing Doobie of like disseminating CSAM, it's
I would imagine that this guy's
guess.
a false flag. I'd imagine that this guy is someone who's a shit stirrer, who's trying to. Well, we know they do this. We know they go and pretend to be DGGers. They go into other communities. They start shit, right? And they try to paint DGG as the worst possible. We know they do this.
Well, is DGG even anti-doxing? I don't even think that's true.
I have been in touch with the mods, and
so just to be clear, my community does not do the doxing. There's a reason why it's posted from my account and my account only, and we don't really have a community of doing it in my chat. It doesn't really happen. There's a reason why when people accuse my community of doing it, it's just like random people from Twitter and stuff. If it's or it's just me.
So people from your community, to your knowledge, have not doxed.
No. I mean, sometimes I know there have been like big streams in the past where people will post a thing like in YouTube chat, but we ban it when we see it. But no, my community doesn't have. It's just not. That's just not what we do in my community. It's just not a thing.
And to be clear, I have been contacted, or I've been in contact with mods in the DGG Reddit and also the DGG Discord server, and they have told me if I know of or see anyone who is engaged in doxing, to tell them, and that they will take care of it. They will ban that person.
Wait, just to be clear, is anyone disputing that? And I know you have like your own respective justifications for it or whatever. Can we agree that reposting or disseminating Jay Stock's face is dox info, right? Even if you think it's justified, that would probably be dox info.
Yeah, I
right?
wouldn't do it. I would never do it.
Oh, I mean, I guess if you want to say that, then that probably exists as a somewhat of a norm. Yeah.
Yeah, so people in your community have continuously spread that like everywhere. So I feel like there probably is like some level of like acceptance of doxing in the broader community.
For
right?
Justice's face, yeah, but nobody else.
That would be that. Well, yeah, but that would be dox info if the face
You
wasn't
can
like
call it dox
publicized
info,
by
but
them.
it's substantial. This is different. It's not like if you talk to me, my community's gonna start doxing you. It's just, it's objectical, right?
Sure, I know you claim justice. I just thought the original claim was that your
Still not
community
look.
isn't.
Still not
Sure.
good. But yes, it's a fundamentally different thing than anyone who talks to Destiny is now going to be doxxed by DGG if they have a fight with him or disagree with him strongly.
Sure. I don't think this guy's from my community.
Yeah, he's
That's
this
really
is continuously this is 2 tweets that I've shown in a row that I've been sent. Yeah, he obviously has an anti-Zionism problem. It looks like. So.
Yeah.
What do you think about like Queeman and them, the obsessive coverage over? I actually don't know how old you are. I don't mean that as like a slight or
I'm
whatever.
21.
Okay, were you around like a couple years ago when they were obsessively
Hey everybody, it's
covering
Rob here. The
Stardust?
whirlwind Bob is now hitting.
I was not. I didn't know Queeman at that point. I was actually. I was friendly with Stardust at that point. She helped me with my homework and shit. I wasn't like. I wasn't around for that. I don't know like. It seems like the shit with Stardust was just like them being like really, really fucking mean to her. Which at some level I was like initially sympathetic, but then I realized that like
mean and racist and like making fun of her deceased father and like attacking her relationship.
Yeah,
and...
I've called people out that where I disagree with this side on it is like I believe, for example, I'm somebody that believes that like edgy humor is okay, but I believe in like audience, time, place, etc. There's no reason to be making fun of somebody's dead father, and when we're trying to make like a serious argument, all that does is makes us A, look horrible to fucking normies, right? B, obviously it's just like a sort of a dick move to do, but I'm not super sympathetic to her herself because it seems like she's demonstrated a total willingness to engage in the shit flinging. She told a trans woman that she wasn't like a real woman and shit, and she was acting like she doesn't behave like a woman, or she said she's transphobic to that specific individual because the two of them were like disputing. It seems like she's totally.
Who is the other person? Just curious.
Oh, it was Jalen.
Do you remember the context of these statements?
So Jalen is yeah. So Jalen is like somebody that like Jalen is like a mentally ill like YouTuber or whatever that like has regularly like crashed out and had these like outbursts of anger. Had one in a conversation with me, and this person is very clearly unwell or whatever. But in the course of that, while like beefing with them and like it was like a call or something, Stardust had like made a comment akin to like they don't behave like a woman and they're gonna misgender them specifically, or they're transphobic to them specifically, because this person had like these like outbursts of anger and shit, which I think is like that's probably just like transphobic.
Sure. What is the justification for Queeman and them to obsessively cover Stardust from like a racist and like vitriolically personal perspective just because Stardust has that beef with somebody else? Do you think that like Queeman was like defensively attacking Stardust on behalf of all trans people, on behalf of Jalen?
No, I'm not speaking for. I'm explaining why I wouldn't have. Why I don't think the whole like crying about like people being mean to her thing is necessarily so valid. I don't know if that's what. I don't think that was Queeman's justification at the time. I'd have to look into. I don't know his exact coverage of her. In regards to like the going after her for like ethnicity shit, I called it out when I saw it at the time. I don't like agree with that. I think that I think it's okay to joke about things like racism, but I think you should be doing it with people you're friendly with who understand that it's a joke, not people you're legitimately beefing with. Because then at that point, I think it's in poor taste.
Do you think that they're just joking when they do it, or do you think it's like a legitimate, like all the DGGs, all the anti-Indian humor slurs that Queeman and Justical and all them engage in? Do you think it's just memes, or?
I don't think Queeman or Jay Stock unironically hate Indians. No, I think that
you can be racist and not necessarily hate people, right?
Sure, I guess so. Like, I guess what form of racist do you think they are?
I'll be right back.
They just think it's funny to make racist jokes, to make racist humor. If they see somebody of a certain race and they know that they can hit them on that point, then they just kind of like dig in on that. They would be as racist as much as Stardust would be transphobic, at least, right?
Well, I said start as comment was transphobic, and she's being transphobic with that individual. But sure, I actually could have. You know what? Yeah, I'd agree. But I'd say exactly like that's why I guess I wouldn't necessarily care about her crying when it happened to her because she seems to be totally fine with like edgy shit flinging in Portes. She told, to my knowledge, I don't have the log on me, so I guess you can dispute it if you want. She told apparently somebody in Spicy Chat back when she was in it by the name of Mantis, who is a evidently suicidal, mentally ill, like user that has been made fun of a lot, whatever, to kill himself and shit. So it's like for me, I don't really like for like edgy shit flinging. I just don't necessarily have a whole lot of sympathy when you've evidently engaged in it repeatedly yourself.
Is there anybody that Queeman and Justical don't engage in edgy shit flinging with?
Probably. I couldn't name someone off the like on Earth. Yeah, probably. I just don't know who.
Do you think that when it came to like personal attacks or mining or digging in for personal info or whatever stuff, do you think that Justical and Queeman, or do you think that I started that between all of us?
In regards to the two of you, I think your personal like when you say they were digging into your personal, I actually don't know who started that per se. But in regards to digging into your personal, everything that I've heard them talk about in the context of you was pertinent to like publicly available shit that got leaked by other people.
Well, what does that? I mean, what does that mean? I mean, technically, all of the Cherry stuff is
Like it did.
publicly available shit because Cherry posted that Justical said that he was going to be her Dr. K. She posted that he forced her
Yeah,
to go to a 3
I
day.
don't
Yeah.
I don't take issue. I don't take issue if you want to go at JStalk over the cherry shit. I don't take issue with that. The only issue I take, I don't think there was any reason to start posting and disseminating his face and like personally identifiable information, right?
Do you think that somebody is entitled to be anonymous or private no matter what they say or do about somebody for no matter how long of a time period?
It's less so about entitlement. It's more like under like a rule utilitarian. Like I believe that if we were to just accept the tactic and its usage in like an individual instance, even if you believe it's respectively justified, I believe that introduces the usage of the tactic in the broader conflict and inevitably leads to unintended targets being justified as well. So to I guess answer your question there, it's not it isn't really about that for me. I don't. It's not like about whether they're entitled to or not, right?
What would you
I
do
just
from my perspective if, like, especially after the court case dropped, if every single person in my circle just kept being doxxed on Kiwi Farms, and then everybody in Justical and the Queen circle was just kind of like giggling about that?
I would unilaterally condemn this tactic, and if they were just laughing about that, and you were never utilizing this tactic yourself, I think you'd have much greater like position to appeal to morality and make them look bad, right?
Well, I had that position for months, but it didn't really do anything for me, right?
Well, hadn't at the by the time they were involved with you at all, hadn't like there already been numerous instances of you being like either docs adjacent or like I brought this example up to you. Like I mean I don't know where you stand on it now, but like in regards to, like the telling people to go to Kiwi Farm shit, I know that like you wanted to give them like I think that is like docs adjacent to even be like linked to or contributing to that site.
Let's assume even that was true, that 4 years or 5 or 6 years ago, however long ago, that was considered dox adjacent. That means that people have carte blanche to just dox me and my family forever?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
So then let's kick that behind. So let's say that
Well, that
in
wasn't what
my
I was
case,
trying to say.
well, sure, but like I'm curious, like why do you think, from your perspective, from what you've heard from everything, why do you think I wanted to unmask, or I unmasked Justical?
I think you're mad at him, very mad at him, and I think that's a good way to fuck with somebody in regards to it effectively fucks with
Why do you
them.
think I'm mad at him?
I think that he's been like a super harsh critic of yours. He's like a-logged you. I'd probably be mad at someone that was a-logging me. It depends on, I guess, the nature of. It seems like a lot of the. I haven't really. I just personally have always found coverage of you in regards to a-logs. Not that I disagree with that. I just found it boring, so I wasn't necessarily like super engaged.
Sure. Well,
But
I think if the doxing is going to be as big of a deal, like, isn't it kind of important to know, like, what do you think I would say why I doxed Justical or unmasked
um,
Justical?
you probably have some justification due to something he said or did that I don't know about that would make it like super convoluted. I have to be in the weeds of it to know. I know you'd believe it was justified
Well,
because he did
just for
something
my
unfortunate.
edification, can you give us that argument now, Destiny? Because I'll
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
be
So
clear,
let's say hypothetically, so I'm dating a girl at the time
Okay.
who had been dating a quasi celebrity person. I don't want to get too deep into it, but this person has active following on a snowboard on lolcow or whatever. But at the start of my court case, every single person in Gisticle's server was obsessively trying to force every single person in my orbit to separate from me. Sometimes this is just done via anonymous accounts online. Other times we see people, that one stoner, cognitively impaired chick, Aiko, we see her messaging Hutch saying, like, you need to separate from Destiny. He's a rapist or whatever. Sometimes you see it posted on Kiwi Farms where they're saying the same message, like, these guys need to get away from Destiny. He's a rapist. And then on Jessica's Discord server, because I was still dating this girl at the time, and she's not really a public person, but they wanted her to make a public statement separating from me on Twitter. As that wasn't happening, somebody called Kelly Jean in that server was cross-posting a whole bunch of stuff, rumors, and then pointing people towards this lolcow thread about the girl that I was currently dating. And there was no way to make them not do that or to get them to chill on that. And then they would also, at points, they can't directly link to the Kiwi Farms thread, but people would say things like, oh, like check out like post like 449 or 1449 or whatever for this. I can't link it, but like this is hilarious and blah blah blah. So all that behavior had been happening in Gisticle's Discord, and they were all obviously fine with it. They were joking and memeing about it before I had ever posted anything about Gisticle, like his docs information.
Did you warn him to stop before you posted?
Of course. I've said a million times, like, I don't know why people are targeting my girlfriend at the time. She's not a public figure. This is kind of fucking insane. But the obsession was because she was one of the only people that hadn't made a strong public statement about me. They needed her to say something or break up with me. That was at least explicitly what Kelly and I think others on the server were saying, that it's crazy that this person hasn't broken up with Destiny yet. And so we're going to keep posting from their lolcow thread and make fun of them and make fun of how they look and other stuff, explicit and unexplicit, about them. Yeah.
So Cowbunga Andy in my chat says Destiny's argument literally justifies doxing Whick with the same logic. Just real quick, I don't remember posting anyone's docs. I don't remember posting anyone's Kiwi Farm link threads. I don't remember targeting anyone for associating with anyone. Like, what do you mean? His argument. So as I understand your argument, Destiny, I don't know if I agree with it or not, but as I understand your argument, is that they were going after your girlfriend at the time, and they were pressuring her, trying to drive a wedge, posting her Kiwi Farm stuff, and you wanted them to stop. They wouldn't stop, so you started doxing Gisticle. Is that an accurate?
Yeah. I guess also I forget this just because I don't care about the doxing shit, but also her docs was posted both on lolcow and on Kiwi Farms, which they kept referencing over and over again. But I mean, like, that there was no way that I could. Yeah, go ahead.
So would you be adjusted? Okay, so if you have people in your server that are actively engaged in, let's say, doxing behavior or dox adjacent behavior, etc., would you believe the server owner would therefore be a justifiable target? As like a, are you doing it as like a? I'm not sure if this is like a revenge thing for you or a utilitarian thing. If you believe that's going to mitigate it or stop it, but is that like do you believe that's justified under that logic?
I guess what I try to think of is like, what would I expect? And I would expect that, yeah. So, like, for instance, if Gisticle and them started posting like direct doxes of me in their Discord server, which he doesn't ever do directly, obviously for plausible deniability, but I'm not going to sit here and cry about him doxing me, of course, because I'm posting his shit, obviously. If people in my community were doing it and I'm sitting there watching it, I mean, more or less, I have responsibility for what goes on in my chat and in my community, so that's why I aggressively ban people that do things that I don't think are acceptable there. Yeah, but
But do you not realize? And by the way, I don't hold this. I'm just unilaterally say, do not dox Whick. Like, if you do, obviously, I want nothing to do with you.
Please don't
there,
but Paul, hold on.
But
have you found out, by the way? Because we've been going on a while, and I know you've been concentrating on the conversation. But have you found out? As I
said before, I can look into it when streams are. I could probably, when I actually go to look into it, I could probably give you an answer by the end of the day. I'd have to look into it, right? I actually do not remember. I'm not here. I'm not vested in like I'm defending arguments here. I'm not somebody that feels so linked to other people.
You called on the community to rally around to
yeah, because because
are you still doing that? Because do you stand by that?
Call. If Destiny disseminates what I believe to be a lie, I will absolutely call for people to go and combat it. Yes.
Hello.
Wait. I just want to run down this thing, and then you can do your thing, just real quick. Yeah. So, like,
sure thing.
What do you think? What should I do at that point? I guess if you're in my perspective, do you think that that's like over the line or over the threshold of me feeling like I don't know. I guess I just have to start like unmasking people on that server if they're going to be cross-posting and referencing like active KF threads about my girlfriend, active lolcow threads about my girlfriend. That also have all my doxes and shit posts on there. But at that point, everybody had fucking been doxed on my side anyway.
I mean, you should talk about it and how, like, if you applied like moral pressure to the people around them over that and weren't engaging those acts yourself to stick by their standards and cut them, I wouldn't even be against that, right?
Yeah, but on their side, they're convinced that I'm basically like a fucking pedophile, rapist, serial woman abuser. So everything against me is justified. That's their perspective.
Well, okay, but it seems like both sides are using that. People from, I mean, Wick's retweeting stuff that from an account trying to paint me as a wannabe murderer, right? Because I made an edgy joke in private.
Real quick, because people do this both sides thing. If I were to drop everything about these communities, do you think they would continue to obsessively post and talk about me?
If what you post actively combats any instance of like significant wrongdoing that they have been accusing you of, then I think that they obviously should. Will they? No, because I understand that at this point there's like going to be like a sunk cost fallacy, and some of these people are probably would if you completely refuted it, there would absolutely be some people that would still sit there and insist that it was win. But I think in regards to the people that I associate with, like Queeman or whatever, if you actively like refuted a story in its entirety with the evidence you presented, I think he would drop it.
Okay, so I feel like the issue that I always run into with people saying on both sides is that like since the end of 2023, I don't care much for this style of content. I'm not even judging it. I did a lot of it in the past. I'm not here to say like, oh, I'm above it. I just don't have as much of an interest in it anymore. I want to do more like politically adjacent stuff. That's kind of where my interest is. But these people seem to only engage in this like obsessive style of content about me for months or years. And I don't know from my perspective, like you can talk about moral high ground, but if every single person about me around me is getting consistently doxxed by all these places that these people still like link to and talk about and giggle about constantly, I don't know what I'm supposed to do in that circumstance other than just start telling people like, hey, if we do any event together, if you're ever on my stream, like people are just going to start doxing and harassing you until you leave. I don't know what I'm supposed to do at that point. And I think it also says something that fear that I just gave, it doesn't really exist in these other communities. It's like a thing that only they do.
What do you mean in regards to the fear of like people like the fear of people doxing if you talk to them or whatever?
Correct. Yeah.
Well, I guess I would dispute the notion that all the people threatening the doxing are coming from one given community. I think you have a broad range of different groups of people that hate you for a variety of reasons. Obviously, you have opposition from the right. Obviously, there are a lot of the people.
Yeah, I understand that. But like, wait, what's the equivalent position on the right? Or where are these communities of these people that dox me on the right? I've never heard of these communities before.
Well, obviously, the thing about Kiwi Farms is, and I agree, a lot of the accounts that engage in doxing are like nameless and faceless, so we wouldn't necessarily know who's coming from where. But in regards to like those accounts or whatever, I'd imagine that some of the people contributing to the thread probably had gripes with you that predate coverage by people like
I'm not
Queeman.
talking about. Just to be clear, I'm not talking about people that have gripes with me. I don't care if people criticize me or anything.
Well, they contribute to your thread, right? Is it only like did your thread only? When was your thread like created? I feel like this predates Queeman, J-Stock.
Probably like a decade ago, but
yeah. So
I'm saying that like Queeman made video, like even when I got divorced from Melina, which was before any court case, like Queeman is making video after video, I think dozens of videos about like my divorce and how epic and based it was. You had when my my messages between me and Lauren Southern were leaked, President Sunday did like a dramatic reading of them and thought it was epic and based, and he was begging that solo guy for more DMs that he could read. Queeman and them had that solo guy was still active in Queeman's community for a week or two after he leaked all my shit and everybody else's stuff onto Kiwi Farms, and nobody seemed to care. Like
active in his community was what do you mean?
Like chatting in his Twitch chat and chatting in his Discord.
Oh, in his Twitch chat? I mean, I don't know if
in his Discord and in his Discord.
Oh, sorry. No, you're right. Yeah, in his Discord. If that's true, I think after Solo distributed the leaks of you, he should have been absolutely banned when it was confirmed that.
Sure, but I'm not talking about like what he should have done or what he shouldn't have done. But like, what do you think it says about the attitude in these communities if like that guy? Didn't
he offer? Didn't he offer Queeman? I could be misremembering this. Didn't he make an offer to Queeman or something to give him, and Queeman refused that?
About for what?
I feel like I don't know if that rings a bell. I swear this happened. I could be totally off.
Are you talking about when he tried to blackmail me? He said he wanted to come on my stream to chat, and then he wouldn't release anything else about me.
No, I feel like this was a DM exchange. I guess I can't.
Hold on, did Queeman do that?
What?
The blackmail you?
I thought we were talking about Solo.
Or were we talking about someone else?
Solo did. The Solo.
Solo.
Guy did.
Okay, I got mixed up. Fair enough. Yep. Solo blackmailed you.
Do you remember the date of my leaks? It was in what's the 11th month? November 24th, right?
Yeah, I remember. I'm around that time. It was near New Year's.
I guess like I have other messages. I need to fucking do all this, but like this guy was still active in Queeman's community, talking to my good friend Ryle Kittenhouse in there. I just sent a DM to Whick. You can show it on stream or not, but that's from December 2nd. So I think this is like a week after.
So I can read this?
Sure. Or you can show it on stream. I don't care.
Okay. Let me show it on stream real quick. Hold on. Easier. This is, hold on. Solo says, is J-Stock dating Cherry? Raul Kittenhouse says, Lamau. Solo says they sit in private VC all day together. Wild? Is that what you wanted
Kind of funny that he knew that even that he knew that even way back then, that the solo guy was watching the VCs enough that he could tell that they were dating. This is even before 2025. But
interesting.
But that's kind of wild, right?
It is a little weird.
And everybody knew that this guy was leaking my shit because he was also in the DMs with President Sunday, who was like begging him for more information as well about me, which is also kind of crazy, right?
In regards to President Sunday leaking more shit about you and in communication with Solo.
That President Sunday is in DMs with the solo guy, asking him for more leaks about me.
Yeah, that would be. I'd have to once again. I don't know if there's any context there that would mitigate that, but as you've just described it, that sounds pretty bad. Sure. I'm admittedly like totally out of my territory. I'm like all the weeds like you're.
Yeah, so I guess I asked you earlier, but you kind of.
Just as a quick thing, okay. I believe you. Actually, I don't think that you're hiding or lying about anything. But I guess like the thing that is kind of weird to me about all of the stories that circulate about me is it's kind of frustrating that people are like, oh, why Jesse doxed this guy? It's like, why? And it's like because he hates being criticized. It's like, well, no, I think it's because there's like a ton of insane fucked up shit that is happening in these communities that these communities like seem to be bragging about being a part of. And it seems like the only thing that all these communities are obsessed with is like trying to destroy me like as much as humanly fucking possible. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Like there's nothing. I guess there's evidence of this. I don't think there's anything bad in this. You can read this one on stream, I guess, if you want. Because after Solo was leaking all my shit, he was DMing me and chatting with me. But like that's kind of crazy that President Sunday is just like mining this guy for information about me. Like, what the fuck am I, like, how am I supposed to, you can pose this one too, I guess, if you want. Careful, because at some point he starts sending President Sunday, like, giant black dicks. I don't think it's on this combo, so.
Okay.
No, these two are safe.
Okay. Give me a second.
Do you not think that if you're personally doxxed, like from the perspective of the utility of it, right? Even if we're to admit that there is justifiable, which I don't personally believe, right? That's a different standards. If you believe there's justifiable instances of doxing, would it not give like the people that have like the, that really especially hate you, would it not further motivate them personally to continue to try to, like, if we're assuming they were trying to dig in this manner in the first place?
Well, no, because they already are. There's the thing that's hard to express. Like, these people are already trying to do the maximal amount of whatever they can at any point in time.
Yeah, let me read these. Solo says, then did the second leak the next day? Do you plan on just ignoring it all? Seems like it's working for now, but might hinder you in the future. Destiny says, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm also not sure if it's the wisest to share how I deal with it all with the person trying to maximize the interest on it, smiley face. Solo again, to be fair, I could have leaked much worse if I only cared about interest. But leaking the super intimate stuff is cringe. Destiny says, I mean, I feel like that's kind of what got leaked, no? Solo says, I mean the images video specifically. Destiny. Oh, Well, I mean, I guess I appreciate that, I think, although I thought I heard people talking about my dick, so who knows, LOL. Are you the guy's dick that Rose sent me that was supposedly her boyfriend? Solo says, ha ha ha, that's not my penis, no. Good question, though. Destiny, smiley face. Solo, when's my unban from DGG Discord coming down the pipeline? Destiny says, we'll see, smiley face. Solo says, better to have me in there on account. You can track that and alt. And then Solo posts a message between him and President Sunday, where President Sunday is again digging for information, things. There's nudes exchanged with Fuentes. Solo says, I'm not sure. President Sunday, perhaps you could censor them enough that they're not identifiable, but not so much that you can't tell what they are, like a big black square in the center. Or blurring them. Don't send as such, but keep that in retainment in case it matters. And Solo calls him retarded. Side note, true. President Sunday, very retarded. But yeah, that's pretty bad.
Is that the first and second one, or is there a second?
There's a second. Hold on. President Sunday, off the record, are you Rose? That won't leave this convo. It just helps me understand the level of carefulness I need to treat these with. You as a source. Destiny says he wants them. Solo. Did Rose, and this is an exchange between President Sunday and Solo. President Sunday says, did Rose and Destiny ever voice call? Solo says, yeah, I have recordings of the call that she made back then, but they're deep in my chats with her from like 2 years ago. President Sunday, be careful with those. Florida is a two-party consent state. Solo says, it's okay, I live in Russia, so no way for me to get penalized. President Sunday, but if you have recordings of calls with Fuentes by Steven, or any such calls, provided they don't contain anything that could constitute revenge porn, I am very interested. And then President Sunday quotes or replies to him saying he's living in Russia, saying interesting. Solo says, he thinks he's unraveling the puzzle. Destiny says, not the Russians. Solo says, I'm just going to send him a black cock. And then here's more exchanges between President Sunday and Solo. President Sunday says, everything pertaining to Fuentes, Lauren, etc., emphasis on big-name figures with political significance. Maybe Brianna Wu, though I don't really give a shit about her. Solo says, who else is of interest to you? I can search the DMs for mentions. President Sunday says, Tim Pool, Lauren Chen, Jordan Peterson. Let me think. Solo says, Ben Shapiro. President Sunday, oh, Candace Owens, Max, Mr. Girl. Dan Saltman is mentioned a lot. Not sure if that's of interest. President Sunday, it is. Solo, and here's two more. President Sunday says, please, Fresh and Fit would be good to hear about as well. And I can't tell what this one is, but something from President Sunday.
Yeah, wait, and then just wait, two real quick ones, and then it's not. These are like one sentences each. These are just Kelly Jean chatting about.
Well, before we go to Kelly Jean, can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
I don't remember if it was you specifically or it was Dan. Somebody at that point, obviously, I know your beef with Sundays it's like years of lore, right? But I remember explicitly, I think it was before the leaks happened and everything. Was his docs not read out by? It was either you or Dan. Were you the one that read out his docs?
For President Sunday?
Yeah.
I don't remember prior to this.
Okay. Had he been doxxed by somebody in your space at that point?
He might have been, but this might have been in the feud between him and Kyla.
Well, I swear I could remember. I feel like you did it on a J-Stock stream. I feel like I explicitly remember that.
It might have been. I don't remember. It's possible that in relation to that. But again, that's also kind of interesting that was how many years ago, and how do you know that?
Because I remember, I was beefing with this guy called Westside Tyler, who had also read out his docs, and I wanted to or someone had told me that originated on a J-Stock stream.
Okay, it's a little bit. It's interesting. Selectively, you seem to know every single.
I know bits, right? When I was personally
but all the bits you know are only the bits that are against me, but you don't know anything from my side.
I'm totally willing.
Also, to be clear, I'm sorry. When I say that, I'm not accusing you of being bad faith. I'm just saying that it's pretty obvious that the information only seems to be flowing one way.
Well, yeah, but
then these are two quick things from Kelly just in these servers. I'm just saying these servers are this is her referencing Kiwi Farm's comments that were being posted, and at this point, Blav was going through pick by pick to figure out where my girlfriend at the time lived, going through the backgrounds of all of her pictures, trying to post the inside of her apartment or houses, and then linking pornographic images from other sites. This was Kelly in one comment, and then there's a second DM I sent. I wish I could post this pic that was posted on KF.
So Kelly says,
say things like, "Oh God."
Yeah, Kelly says, honestly, I wish I could post the pic that was posted on Kiwi Farms. It was so funny, LOL. And the next one is from Kelly Jean as well. It's on Kiwi Farms Lamau, but I assume it's his last stream. The embargo for no Kiwi Farm screen caps is still on, I think. Otherwise, it's on page 1399.
Do you not see?
You see, go ahead.
if we introduce this as a justifiable tactic and use your own respective justification for situations where you do it or it's engaged in, right? Couldn't someone like Sunday then come around and believe that him digging into your shit, which I don't think it is, by the way, but couldn't he then come around and try to claim that in his case it was justifiable because it met a set of given criterion because you had
Do you
done like
understand? I
reiterate
understand
his personal information?
this gets asked so many times, but do you not understand that they already are? Like, there is no line for me for any of these people. So I like Sunday, like this is a person that solo guy had been leaking shit about me already, and Sunday is like mining this guy for information for more humiliating shit that he can get about me.
Because
Like,
this guy despises you with like a passion, obviously. I
well, no,
once
wait,
again,
wait. But like, is that justified?
no. I think it's I would.
But so if he's already doing unjustified things to get as much unhinged personal information about me as possible to humiliate me or attack me, like what else? What do I even worry about? It's not like they're going to do anything more to me. They already are. And,
Call
like,
him out for it, like criticize him
nobody
for it,
cares.
like bring it up.
Nobody cares.
I mean,
You
people
don't
who
think I'm
listen.
criticizing or fighting with these people? Like,
Go
and
ahead.
then just as a last thing, then
You guys-
Sakato, so you're gonna have your thing. Like, have you heard of the term TDD, total destiny death, or total destiny destruction? Like, what do you think that means when they were saying that back early on when the leak started?
Like they were like happy to see you fall because they believed that you
No,
were
they were
somebody
actively contributing to it. They wanted to participate in that. That was
Well, I
the
don't
goal.
think that's I don't think that's necessarily what that means, right? I think that's
Hold
just
on,
like
hold on,
expressing
hold
a
on. With the
willingness
context
to.
that
I'm
we
gonna
have
be
now,
so quick.
go ahead,
Okay,
Starter.
well,
Starter.
okay.
I'm gonna be so quick. My bird is sick. I would like to get back to him. He's stopped eating and drinking,
I
so
hope he
he's
gets better.
probably yeah. You think it's
Yeah.
funny? You think it's funny? I get it. Okay.
No.
So I don't worry. I get it. You know, it's funny to you. Whatever.
It's not. It's
I
not that
don't
funny. I mean, I
think-
just
Give
I just
him
knew
what
someone
you
was-
give him what you got. You can do. Yeah, give him what you got.
Yeah. I don't think that you're hiding or lying about anything either, Aiden. But I do think that you've bought narratives, quite like what Destiny was saying. You've bought narratives hook, line, and sinker without asking me my perspective or doing any critical thinking about it, despite the history that
I've
we
reached
have.
out to you. I've reached out to you to call in, and I put the offer out on Twitter. I'm absolutely willing to listen to you.
Did you message me or anything? Like,
I
do you think
I
I
have in
have
the
time
past,
to
and then
do
you
calls with
backed
you
out.
all the time?
Well, you're saying I won't listen to you. I offered the opportunity to listen to you. You didn't take it.
To
So
call
I don't know
into
what I'm
your
supposed to do.
show when we have like a personal relationship. You didn't want to ask me. We had a personal one-on-one relationship where you used to DM me about your homework or whatever essay you're writing, right? Whatever
Well,
fucking essay you're writing, and you didn't have the wherewithal to at least talk to me on a personal level.
When you were going and relitigating my drama on your stream, you never reached out to me to get your take on that, right? I don't expect.
Yeah, how
Obviously, we're talking about
recent was that? How recent was that? And how far back
that
was
was
the
like
drama that I was in with Queenman?
the drama that you have with Queenman. I didn't even when that started or was going on. I didn't even know who Queenman was, right?
Right.
Obviously,
Do you
when
think
I was
that?
cool with him after, I didn't see any behavior that he engaged in that I felt. Besides, obviously, once again, I'm like they think I'm soy about like edgy jokes. Besides the shit coming at you like over here in this, I didn't think anything like crossed like a huge like moral line for me based on what I saw. Right by the time
Do you
I
think
knew
that
about it.
Queenman? How long do you think Queenman's been obsessed with me?
Obsessed. I feel like that's like I feel like he's been like he's a-logged you probably for a few years or covered you for a
He's
few
been
years.
obsessed with me.
Wait.
He's
Just
been
as a quick thing, A-log is obsessed, right? Jesus, come
Yes.
on. Right.
I mean,
Well, no, I'm asking Aiden. If somebody's A-logging you, they're obsessed with you, definitionally.
So sure. I mean, I guess. I mean, I feel like obsession implies like state of mind. I feel like a-log is more as like the action itself. I feel like he thought it was funny and worth covering and entertaining or whatever to make fun of you or cover you in that manner. I don't know if there was like when I think of obsession. I guess you could say it's technically obsession. When I think of obsession, I think of like someone that's like hyper fixated on someone, constantly thinking about them. It seems like for him his primary motive was entertainment, right?
So he was before he even blew up as a streamer, he was obsessed with me. And I can share those screenshots with you. Just give me one moment here.
The screenshots that I've been sent by Destiny, this is J-Stalk saying they look like retards now, but TDD is the mission. He says something else that cuts off. Judge Logic says, yeah, for sure, I can try and smooth, and it gets cut off, and J-Stalk says, I'd appreciate that.
I have a better screenshot of this number, but I don't have it offhand right now. But like when they say TDD is the mission, this is Jesticle talking to Chud Logic. I think this was either in DMs or it was in the Jesticle server. I don't remember. But
is there a message before that at the top? Because I don't know if there were. Are you saying yeah, I'd appreciate that, and I'd appreciate that in regards to the TDD is the mission part? Because it seems like he
Oh
might be
my
replying to something
goodness.
earlier. I don't know if that's what he's saying. He appreciates there.
Here you go. Sorry, thank God.
Is there another
So
thing you
I
just sent?
sent.
Yeah, you can show that. Or sorry, go ahead. Or real quick, read that.
So it was a bit frustrating seeing Willie and Nicholas spam that narrative to like get me. I literally reached out in private and I made one comment in spicy. They went ham. Nicholas was on Augie for 3 to 4 nights later, trying to bring me up to shit on me. Willie tweeted at least 3 to 4 times about it. They look like retards now, but TDD is a mission. I obviously don't want to burn any bridges with Nicholas since he's one of the few connections I even tenuously have. Chud Logic says, yeah, for sure, I could try and smooth things over if you want me to. J-Stock says, yes, I'd appreciate that. So I guess
actually know the context
question
of
is
this one, actually, I
TDD
think.
is a mission, right? What do you think they mean by that?
So he wants, like, he obviously is preying on your downfall in this instance, right?
Well,
That's
no,
what he mean-
he's actively engaged in it, right?
Like in covering you, yeah.
No, in
that's-
participating. He's not just covering, right?
Well, what
The
does he do?
girl one of the girls who's made accusations against me, Cherry, he's secretly dating and he's hosting her on his stream every single day. And their Discord community is cross-posting stuff from Kiwi Farms and Lolcow about me and my girlfriend and pointing people to the thread. They're not just covering me.
So people in his server have. I don't think that, like, I think under that rationale though, once again, I don't agree with this, but somebody could have, by Whick having you after you dox J-Stock or Red Out Sunday's dox, someone could then justify Whick, right?
No, wait, stop, don't do the, you're going ahead because I'm just saying
Well,
that for this initial thing, like, this was before I doxed anybody. I don't think I posted anything about Justical until March. So this was
you'd already doxed Sunday by this point.
This was over a total. Hold on, wait. Does that mean everybody has infinite because of anything related to me and President Sunday? That now I can be infinitely doxed and everybody around me can be infinitely harassed forever. Then why do you keep bringing up President Sunday?
No, because I'm trying to work with you by your own logic. You believe that they're justifiable instances of doxing.
I'm sorry, stop. I can't. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Conservatives do this all the time, and you guys. I'm not trying to bug you so much. Okay, please stop doing the by your standard, by your logic. Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is that these people are already engaged in a maximal campaign of destruction. My values and everything don't matter. It doesn't influence what these people do. So I'm saying they already had the total destiny destruction plan. And they already were committed to that. Justical was already abusing and hosting Cherry on his stream and lying about them dating to have her attacking me and other people around me. Their Discord server was already spam posting stuff about my girlfriend at the time from Lolcow, from Kiwi Farms. None of this has anything to do with me and President Sunday in the past. They were just doing all this stuff.
It seems like the broader point that was being argued, I guess maybe I'd infer that this was the logic here. It seems like the broader point was being argued that Jace, all of this is the case, and then what? And it seems like the then what was the broader argument about him being a justifiable target per your rationale or whatever.
Well, I guess my first question would be, what can I even do? What am I even supposed to do about any of this?
Unfortunately, I mean, the most like I don't think like if what you laid out, all that, you know, I don't think that doxing people prevents that at all. So it's not like a case of like the solution that I don't know what the solution would be, but the solution you've presented I don't see as a viable one or one that solves.
Sure, you can say effectively. Maybe it wouldn't be effective. I guess you can have that.
Well, I think it's not just not effective. I think it's harmful because, as I said before,
harmful to who?
To the people around you. I think
everybody around me has already been doxxed. Everybody around me has already been doxxed.
Unfortunately, yes, but this has been going back and forth about you've
no.
When you introduce
hold on, the back and forth is not true. The back and forth is not true.
He's just admitted that he's used doxing against someone that was in his opposition.
He's doxed people.
In response, everyone around me was already doxxed. This already happened to all these people. Blab and all these other people that everybody knows about in Queen's community have already been like obsessively spamming doxes and everything else of every single person around me before I ever posted anything about Justical.
Okay, so obviously you believing that doxing was justifiable in some instances predates this entire situation, right? Whick was Whick doxed prior to you doxing Sunday?
No, the Sunday thing is okay. So because of whatever happened between me and Sunday, I'm infinitely justifiable, and everyone around me is infinitely justifiable to be doxed.
No, if anyone doxes anyone around you, it's not justifiable. But that's why we should both unilaterally condemn the usage of this tactic because it solves nothing. It gets the people around.
But hold on. Okay, but so this just President Sunday stuff was like 5 years or 6 years ago. Okay, so what am I supposed to do when all these other people are now spamming doxes and spamming Kiwi Farms links and Lolcow links to people around me? Do I just go, oh, well, I guess since me and Sunday had our back and forth 5 or 6 years ago, there's nothing I can say or do?
No, you just don't put gasoline onto a fire, right? Unfortunately,
It's
there's some
already.
instances where you don't have it in your
Hold on, I'm sorry,
capacity
and I'm
to
not
put a
trying to be
fire out.
frustrated. I don't know why you guys keep saying this. You keep saying like you're increasing, you're doing whatever. TDD is the mission. Total destiny, not partial destiny death, not limited destiny death, not quasi destiny death. Total destiny destruction was the mission. Nothing that I do from that point is going to make it any worse for me. It's already maximally bad for me. I don't understand how you don't understand that. I don't know what I can say.
Do you not think when you dox somebody, you make it even more personal than it was to that individual?
Well, can I ask you,
with,
Aiden?
and
Can I just hold on, Aiden? Can I ask you, if Destiny had never doxed anyone, never doxed J-Stock, never doxed Esports Batman, never doxed Wicked Supreme, none of that, do you think that I wouldn't have been doxed?
So I think that you wouldn't have. I can't predict that, obviously.
Okay, I can say that they would have doxed me anyway. It does not matter.
Well,
This is just all post hoc rationalization for their hatred against Destiny, targeted what he does or does not do. It's beside the point. They want to destroy him because they hate him, and they will use any excuse to try to justify that. But at the end of the day, it does not matter what he does. They're going to come after me. I can tell you 100%, right? 100% certainty that if he had not doxed anyone, I would still have been targeted and doxed.
Can I just run through some questions really quick here? I won't take too long at all. So I sent you a couple of screenshots, Wick. You can see how, yes, you can see how long Queeman has been obsessed with me. It has been since 2022, at least. These are, this is basically an old editor of mine, who I ended up falling out with eventually, telling me to not do a panel with Queeman. I asked why. She said that he's trying to get a giant dunk on you. Later on in the same chat, you can see the second message there, where it's just her, and this is back when Spicy Chat was relatively new, but basically it was just every time Queeman's mentioned me in Spicy Chat, I think it was like 90 some times, and again, it was relatively a new
Only
chat.
90 times?
98.
98 times. It was back when Spicy was relatively new. And then they also cleared that chat pretty frequently. Do you think that this began before or after my conversation with Jalen?
Probably was before that. I'd imagine there were other gripes that existed with you. I don't know what specifically his gripes, like, I don't know the exact reason the
Why does he have to have a gripe with her specifically? Why can't he just hate her?
Well, he can, right? I guess I use the two
I think that's the truth. Like, you keep thinking that there's like this justification for their behavior.
I'm not disputing. What about any of this behavior is unjustifiable?
Let me because you said that you're basically making the argument that I don't really have a place to find issue with this because of my own behavior. But if we look at reality, we look at the timeline, Queeman started this behavior well before I engaged with Jalen. And do you want to know the context of my argument with Jalen? Like why we were in this heated argument?
Sure, I guess. I mean, it's not really going to be.
So I'm surprised that you forget this. I feel like you were there for this, but Jalen was somebody who crashed out quite often and would punch holes into walls, and scream the N-word over and over and over again in calls with people. That was my big gripe with her, right? I probably wouldn't do this again. But I very much recall saying in that conversation with Jalen, I support trans rights for everybody except for you because you're acting very male-coded, the way you're punching holes in walls and the way that you're dropping the N-word. I wouldn't say it again, but you know, that I did at the time, you know?
Okay, so you dislike their behavior online, so you decided to respond with shit flinging, which is like I'm not the one that
which is fine, but I didn't.
But you're the one that
A-log
takes
her.
issue with.
I
You're the
didn't
one that
A-log her, right? I didn't A-log her. I didn't constantly cover her for years, right? I didn't find ways to make the most minor things into giant mountains, right?
How many streams did Quimmin do about you in total? Would you venture to guess?
I have no idea. He used to
Dozens? More at least, like
more than that. He used to wait for me to
Hey,
start
just real
streams.
quick, Queeman, if you're watching, hop on in, buddy. Jump backstage.
He used to wait for me to start streams, and then he would start his stream, and then him and all of Spicy Chat would watch me, and they would just watch my entire stream from start to finish with all of them sitting in voice chat and commenting on it, basically. Do you think that Queeman do you think that Queeman engaged in racism towards me before or after the thing with Jalen?
Probably maybe before. I've
Probably
seen
before.
evidence.
You brought up
I've seen evidence. The shit that I've seen. I saw the tweet that I saw for like a specific example of racism was the substance guy like tweeting the cowhead or whatever at you
I
or
mean,
whatever.
that's years and years after. That's years and years after all of this started. Do you you mentioned me telling somebody in Spicy Chat to off themselves. Do you think that that was a particularly rare thing that happened in Spicy Chat?
No, not at all. I think that this is a
Do you
community
think
that.
do you think
So Stardust, do you
okay.
agree that Queeman is?
Do you think
You know. Yeah.
do you think that what do you think the context is of me telling that person to off themselves in the first place?
I don't know. They're probably being annoying. It's Mathis. He's probably just
No,
being very
it
annoying and
was
sad
okay. So,
posting.
you know what it was is
I don't know what it
other
was.
people, regulars in Spicy Chat. Well, I'm telling you, regulars in Spicy Chat asked me, "What is your opinion on this guy and his I think it was his profile description?" And I was being a little performative at the time, but I basically said that, you know, it was like an Epstein quote in his profile, right? Literally an Epstein. And so I said that he's like being melodramatic in his profile. And I said off himself, right? That's not particularly, people said way worse than me in Spicy Chat on a regular basis.
Of course, but those people are not the ones taking a moral position against these sorts of things. In their mind, they think that all jokes, they think that all jokes and like and humor directed at somebody that they don't like, etc. is justified. I'm not somebody that personally accepts that position, and
You made a joke about gutting someone's wife.
In private, in a context where they wouldn't hear it, while I was drunk and 20 years old, and somebody privately recorded that, took it out of context, and posted it to smear me. So yeah, that was in private.
out of context joke of
and I'm not the one. I'm not the one taking the position. And by the way, I've literally said I was a dick for that. I was a total asshole for that. Okay. This was a drama from like 6 months ago, which I'm totally willing to admit that I was being a fucking drunken like loser asshole. There's no reason to make jokes about somebody's wife like that. My only position and my only defense is that I'm not a murderer. I don't want to kill anybody. That was a edgy joke in a part of my server explicitly designated as the place you can make edgy jokes and utilize shock humor, because I understand that's not appealing to everybody. Everyone in the audience that was intended for understood it was a joke. It was only when the in-group humor was analyzed by the out-group that it would obviously be perceived as bad. And I get it. I do get it, right? My only position was I was joking.
You mischaracterized that entire thing with Jalen so badly, though, right? I didn't misgender Jalen. I called her she, her the entire time. What I said to her is that she was acting in a very male-coded way by dropping the N-word and punching holes in walls, which I think is a banger line, if I do say so myself. Secondly,
and you said you'd be you said you'll be transphobic to her specifically. You made comments about like her engaging in
trans rights. Trans rights for everybody except for Jalen.
Well, just own it.
That's what I said.
Well, then just own it. You're the one that is saying that some line has been crossed.
Own it. I do own it. But you are the one who is using that as a justification for all the shit flinging, all of the worming into my personal life, all of the worming into my personal life, all the worming into my personal relationship, all of the worming into. Who do you think?
Okay, if you,
I think one thing. Wait, I think one thing that's like really hard to express that I don't know. I just haven't found a good way to communicate this. You either get it or you don't. I'm gonna guess here. Stardust doesn't give a fuck if somebody says something, even incredibly mean or racist or whatever about her or personal about her. It's this, and I feel the same. It's the months and months and years of not just the coverage, but the active participation in and the active like subversion and digging and this is the thing where it's like, holy fuck.
Just real quick, the way I think about it.
It's not even the words. Let me just say my thing here.
Say your thing,
please.
quickly.
Okay. Because everybody's talking over me. Okay. And I've waited very long. Okay. So I will say I have dealt with hate raids from neo-Nazis, from groypers. I have dealt with brigading on all platforms from neo-Nazis over the years. I have never been doxxed by them. I also, you know, random racism is something that I see on a regular basis. Destiny is correct. Like on an individual basis, you kind of just you're used to the internet. You kind of like just let it roll off of you, right? It is the dedicated, hyper focused racism, constant dehumanization of you, the constant justification of everybody being horrible to you, the way that they turned it into a part of their culture where people who don't even know me, chatters who don't even know me, are saying the most insane deranged shit like I'm not even a human being. I like I'm not even a human being anymore to these people.
Well, but yeah, but from my perspective, and it's also because specifics aren't being laid out to me. In regards to the person that doxed you, I think that's disgusting, right? Whoever did that, and I don't know who did that, unironically. But in regard, like, it seems to me, like when I hear you complain about these things, it sounds like somebody who's like stepped into the kitchen and is like upset that it's hot or they can't hold the heat. For example, Queeman, for example, has done that. Queeman can be really like mean or whatever, right? He's done it to me. Details of like a private sexual encounter. I had got.
It's not. I don't think you understand.
It's not
about the being
comparable.
mean. It's not. Yeah. It's the.
It's the
years
coordination.
of obsessive coverage.
It's a like it's like driving. It's okay, right? Everyone drives. Driving's legal. But when you got 10 guys driving in different cars, boxing you in, that legitimate action of driving becomes something that is illegitimate. So the problem is the coordination
not allowed to breathe
and
in
the
this space,
consistent
basically.
application of it. It's not just one instance, it's multiple instances over extreme periods of time that does not stop and does not let up. And it changes
every
the nature of the
single day
behavior.
For years, every single day for years, where everybody has normalized it to treat me like a punching bag. Say whatever you want about me. Call me ugly, fat, disgusting, gross, Ajit, Pajit, whatever you want to say about me, right? I've heard it all. But it is the dedicated, constant focus on me, intense focus on me. I literally cannot breathe without somebody finding an issue with the way that I did it, without somebody finding, and then it's just extended over years of time.
I wasn't hearing any of these people like they did. I admit that people would talk about you, make fun of you. It literally, I remember explicitly, it died down for a long time, and then it was after you like start going on stream and making comments like 50% of men have probably like shared like sexual images of women without their consent, that all of a sudden everybody was interested in talking about you again.
What
So
did
feel
did I say? 50%? Did I say?
Yes,
I don't care about people
50%.
talking
You said
about me.
50%. That was the exact
Did I
figure
say
you
that?
gave.
Okay. I
Which is
don't
Can I ask you a
care
question? A real quick
about.
question on that. Why do you think they went after Stratos for that?
Because that's like an absurd comment to make. I think it's
Wait,
minimizing.
no, wait. I think really hard about what I'm going to say. Why would they go after Stratos for that?
Because you believe that it was that she aligned herself with you. So then
Exactly. Hold on, wait a second. Stardust. Did we talk at all in like the past fucking like 2 fucking years?
No, you had me blocked. Like Destiny had me blocked on
I removed
every platform.
every single person from all these places, but because they even had that perception that she was trying to align herself with me, she became like a target again. Like the issue that you just said that because she said a thing.
Because she was providing
like,
minimizations for what you did on stream.
Wait, what
Me and Jay
about
Stalk.
her-
Me and Jay Stalk. Me and Jay Stalk hated each
Hold on,
other.
one at a time, one at a time,
Let
one at
me
a time, one at a time.
let me tell you
Quickly.
what I actually said on stream. I said I do not believe a single dude in the Snarker community, when they talk about caring about women, caring about victims, caring about the dissemination of private material, explicit sexual material without a woman's consent, I do not believe a single fucking one of them, because every single one of them has done it. Look at Mantis. They disseminated her private pictures, her sexually explicit pictures without her consent, and then they tried to pinpoint it directly to her, and when they couldn't get tomfoolery to do that, they brought on her ex-boyfriend to confirm that was her body in the picture. But before Pixie brought her lawsuit, what were they doing with her? They were sharing the media, and they were making fun of Pixie, and they were people in Spicy. They making fun of Pixie when Pixie came and said, "I'm feeling suicidal about this." What did they do to her? They made fun of her for being suicidal until she brought the lawsuit. Nobody gave a fuck in that community, and nobody in that community gives a fuck about women or victims or anything. How many of them were cheering on doxers who were doxing Lav?
I don't know
I don't
about
give a fuck.
anyone
That
sharing
is
that
that
on.
is
But
the
also,
that is
you
my
just
Every
made a
single
claim.
that
one
is
of
my
you
wait.
You made a
did that.
Let me
Every
finish. Let me
single one
finish.
of you.
Let me no
This is
no.
so
Hold on.
funny
Let me
to
finish
hear
what I'm
from
saying.
anyone in
Let
this
me finish
space.
what I'm saying.
Can you not?
Stardust, you went
Please,
over the
please.
So hold
sick
on, stop. All of
documentary
you.
that
All
he
of you,
made
shut up.
about me.
All of you.
Let me
You
finish.
you
Let me
You're
emboldened
both.
finish.
him.
Hold on,
Let me
both.
finish.
Both of you. Stop.
Let me finish.
Stop. Stop.
Let me
So,
finish.
I will, but I gotta get control of this situation.
Okay.
Let Stardust finish. Be quick. Lav has some things to say, I guess, and
I sure do.
Yeah.
That is the full context of what I was saying. I wasn't defending Destiny. I was saying I don't give a fuck about the people in the Snarker community because one, I've dealt with them for fucking years, okay? And the recent stuff with them targeting me, I don't give a fuck. That was, whatever. I entered it. But back then when they started, I did not do anything. I wanted to be left alone, right?
Okay, thank you.
But the full context of that is me saying I don't give a fuck about those people. Now,
Okay.
I have a bird to take care of. I will
Stardust,
see you guys
thank you
later.
for calling
Thank
in, and I hope your bird gets better in all seriousness. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think it was true that anyone in Spicy shared sexually intimate images of Mantha, so I don't think that's true, to my knowledge.
What I was going to say was that I think it's funny coming from Stardust because Stardust like actually emboldened Sick when he was making the documentary about me and was actually a-logging me and lying about me online. And I was also going to say, like, Steven, you built this community based off of harassment and a-logging people, and now you're like, why is it happening to me? Like, you built this brick by brick. This is the community that you built for yourself and others. Like, this helps
Who's
you
one
when you're
person
against
that my
someone,
community is?
and then
Who's one
when
person that my community is
when
A-log, Lev?
people, if I
Lev,
could
who's one?
finish,
Who's
and then
one?
when
Who's one
people are
person that my
against
community is
you,
A-log, Lev?
it's bad. And then
Lev, who's
also
one
you
person
do
that I've A-log?
things,
No,
you
you
do
can't go to
things.
the second
You
point.
gotta
Who's one
hold
person
on,
of A-log?
Lav. You do have to answer
Excuse
his
me?
question.
Who's one person that my
No,
community
I
is
don't.
A-log?
I need to finish my point before I answer his questions,
Okay,
and I'll
I'm
take
gonna tell
questions
me to unmute
after.
when she's done.
He's scared of me. He's scared of saying
Yeah,
this.
I
Like
feel like
he's literally he's scared of me. Like he is doing this as like a baby child would. Anyway, I'll continue because I know that at least people are going to remind him of what I'm saying. He's like, why are people harassing my child? And then he'll literally like stream with his child, his minor child, like on his fucking streams. Like, you're putting him on the internet. You are a content creator. Not only that, you're a content creator that engages in blood sports. You're a content creator who
Does that
harasses other people.
justify?
Is she?
Of course
Am I
it's
allowed
not
to ask
justified.
Okay,
my
I
last
stop.
would
thing?
never
Stop,
say
Lav.
it was
Please stop.
justified.
Please stop. You do have to
You're
let
not
them
allowing
respond.
me
You
to
do.
finish.
Hold on. One point at a time. Go ahead.
Yeah, who's
Respond.
one
No,
person
I
of
don't
my
need to
community
do
is
one point at a
A-logged?
time. I don't need to do that. I can lay out all the
She's
things
because
I'm
she doesn't have
thinking,
a.
and then I
It's
can
because
take
these are all
questions.
just.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Well,
You
they're
can
gonna.
wait 5 seconds after I finish. It's not like I'm trying to silence you. You can wait. Thank
Well, hold on.
you.
The goals.
And not only that, what's ridiculous is that when I was going through all of this and I said, everyone, hey, like something's happening to me, and everyone was just like, I think you're mentally ill. You might just not be, well enough to be online. Guess what? I got offline and it disappeared. Stardust, do you realize that you can just turn your laptop off? Steven, do you realize you can literally just close your application? Do you realize that you're a 6,000 viewer and you're like a 7 from anywhere from 6,000 to
Am I able
12,000
to ask
viewers,
the A-log
and
thing
you're
yet, or
listening
not?
to people with
Not
20
Snarker?
Stop.
viewers
Okay,
and
okay,
literally like
Okay.
cortisol
Lav.
spiking because of it? It's insane. Grow up.
Okay. Got
Grow
you.
up.
Got you.
They're
Got you.
they're trying to
Okay.
make you
Stop.
look crazy.
Aiden, stop.
You're
Stop.
correct.
Stop.
Don't
Aiden,
let them
Am I
make
here?
you
let
look
Destiny
crazy.
respond.
Don't let them make you look crazy.
Stop. Destiny. Go ahead.
Okay, who is one person in my community as A-logged?
Who Anna? What do you mean?
What do you think A-logging means?
Literally like followed her around, doxed her anytime she was online, would
My
clip her?
community? No.
Oh,
No.
you've got to be joking, Steven. You've got to
It's,
be
so it's just it's
joking.
gonna be these people, their brain got
You've
locked in
got
like
to be
2020
joking.
or whatever,
Steven,
and I don't
nobody
think
believes
she's
you.
it's like arrested development.
Nobody believes you.
The
Everyone
person,
saw
if
it.
you want to say that somebody A-logged
Nobody
A-logged
believes you.
Anna, then it would be Circa. That would be like the conversation
Who
about
was
Anna in my
who was part of
community.
your community, correct?
No, Circa did it was on his
Right.
whole other
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, Steven, you're so intellectually dishonest. It's insane.
Didn't you
Circa
direct
was
people to
my
her
community?
Didn't
You
direct people to her
directed her
Kiwi farms
towards
because they
the
were
Kiwi
A-logging her?
farms.
No, I posted. No, it's because they kept asking me things from her Kiwi farms. I said, if you want to talk about it, go there
So
and
you
do it.
had
Don't do it
to
to my
give
community.
so you had to give them the link.
How do you
You're
define
so
A-logging?
come on,
Why
dude.
why do you think my community was talking about her?
Because you wouldn't stop talking about her.
No, because she would go live every single day to talk about what people were saying about her
And
online.
she was a 20 viewer Andy. and you
It doesn't
emboldened
matter
your
when she goes
community.
live. Can you stop treating people like children? I know that for you, women aren't real people or whatever.
You
but
want
like,
everyone to treat
she
you like a child right
she
now?
went,
Stop
no, I
bullying
don't.
me
No one is
online.
asking that.
Stop
It's
bullying
not.
me
It's just
online.
this. It's just
Then
this
log
constantly.
off. Log off, Steven. You don't have to see it. Log off. You make enough money. You're
Good job.
successful enough to
You
where
did it,
you
Lav.
don't have to pay
You-
attention to
Lav,
it.
you
Lav,
took over another
thank you for
conversation and
calling
made it
in.
about yourself. Yeah, good job.
Thank you for calling in.
Well,
You're so
For the
scared.
record, right? So for the record, right, my community didn't A-log Anna. That's crazy. All talk about Anna was banned in my community, like on and off for about a year. The issue with Anna, I don't know. I guess everybody just like deleted this from their brains, and I take partial responsibility for this because I should have leaned into it harder. But Anna was going live on her Twitch stream every single day to talk about either me or to talk about comments that she saw about her. There are times where I would delete every single thread, anything that was ever posted on my subreddit, I would delete about her. There was a total ban on talking about her in my chat. We wouldn't bring her up on stream. But then what was happening? Anna was content because she would go live on her stream. She would start like screaming and crying and responding to comments. People on Kiwi Farms would start posting about her. Zerka started to farm the ever-living fuck out of her.
Yes.
That crazy
So-
clip where she's like, "Why did you call me princess?" That was on a Zerka stream. But the only reason I joined that call was because she was already talking about
One of
me.
the things,
She had been for
yeah,
months.
just to confirm what Destiny is saying here. One of the issues that I had, because I had just started streaming at the time, I had just gotten introduced to the space, and the incentives to bring on Anna and basically get
Jesus.
her to break down in order for everyone to cover it after was very, very high. We as a community decided to not do that because we thought it would be taking advantage of someone who's going through a thing. But the idea that it was Destiny's community that was egging this on, no.
Well, no, the claim. I'm pretty sure the claim was that they were a-logging her, and it sounds like that's not even being. It sounds like the dispute is
Well,
that they just
she
had
was
a reason
being
to
farmed.
do it because she was streaming.
Wait. She was not being A-logged by my community. What?
How do you define a-logging?
As in people who are obsessively following, posting information about. It could be doxing. It could be just like having like a record or a collection of like all the things that a person is doing. People who are engaged in like excessive hatred or obsession with a person. This is like A-logging.
So if people in your space are talking about her every time she goes live to the point where you're trying to get people to shut up about it and direct them to Kiwi Farms instead, which was the justification you gave me at the time, wouldn't that be a-logging?
So
They're
Lav
responding to her-
has sent
wait,
me
hold on.
this,
No,
and
I
she
don't-
says
fuck Lav.
this
She's
is
There's
A-logging.
just because there's a reason she's being a-logged doesn't mean it is not
no,
a-logging,
that's not
right?
A-logging. Hold on. Somebody responding to somebody is not A-logging. She's going live to talk about me and my community constantly. I would try to delete every Reddit thread I saw about her, everything I could do in my community to ban all talk about her. I did, but she would still go live and she would talk about me. Sometimes she would Google and she would find other YouTube videos talking about it. I had to ask Abba to delete a video on his YouTube channel about her because that was triggering her. Anything she saw on the internet that was about her, she would get triggered about, and then she would have an 8-hour cry stream about. I'm not even exaggerating. I don't know what I could do from my perspective. I tried to ban all the talk of my community. We were not A-logging her. She was stalking me. Do you hold on? Anna was stalking me. Do you understand that?
Okay.
No, wait. Do you understand? When she was going live every single day to talk about me or my community, Anna was stalking me.
I don't know if it's like stalking to talk about. She could have been. I'd have to look at, but I haven't
Hold
seen
on.
proof.
If you go live to talk about a person every single day, to cry and scream about them when they don't want anything to do with you, you wouldn't consider that to be stalking?
If they have been significantly wronged by you, I think that would just be like an emotional.
I
like,
hadn't
visceral response.
significantly
I think
wronged her.
stalking.
There was no
I think
significant
stalking.
wronging.
I think. Well, okay.
You're
seems like that's what she
justifying it.
believed. No. I think that
If
stalking.
that's what she believed, you think
I think
everybody
that
believes they're
it
the good guy in
becomes
their own story?
Sure. So, yes, I agree. That's why if we introduce like the usage of certain tactics, people can provide infinite justifications for why it's okay when they do it. So it's more
Yeah,
useful
like what they
to just
already do to me,
unilaterally
yeah.
condemn.
You're not making the point
So
you
it's
think
more
you
useful
are.
to just unilaterally condemn. Like
It's not
tactics
unilateral
outright.
condemnation has never worked in all of human history, and nobody does it. That's why multiple people on the planet have nuclear weapons, and not just one party.
So just real quick, Lav says that this is an example of your community A-logging her. This is from the wiki, the Destiny.ggg wiki, and she sent me her page and where they give information on her, and this is the example that she is given of A-logging. What is your response to this?
I don't think a wiki is A-logging, number one. It could be, depending on the type of stuff in there, if they're following like day by day, okay? But two, the only reason why I have to start having a wiki on my community is because people like Lav will lie about so much stuff. But the stuff that is on the wiki related to Lav is stuff that's happened on my stream. Like, most of the stuff is still in YouTube videos for disagreements. It links to like YouTube videos that exist right now. These are like summaries and shit of arguments that we've had. These are not like, where does she live now and where is she going to school, and we're going to try to contact her.
How long is it updated, or how often is it updated?
I don't know.
I don't know if is there like a way to check. I don't know.
It's a wiki, so there's probably an edit history in it.
Yeah, would you say like it's probably a-logging if it gets contributed to like maybe multiple times per week, or?
I don't think. I'm sorry. What do you think a-logging? What do you think a-logging came from as a term?
I think it was like it like refers to like covering like everything a perceived like problematic or funny person is doing,
With an obsessive hatred behind it. It was the guy who was, I don't remember the name, Chris something or whatever, who was a-logging Chris Chan.
I mean,
A-logging implies an obsessive hatred.
Well, okay, so I don't necessarily believe that it's always used to denote the hatred portion. Sometimes people cover lolcows that they find like fascinating and want to, but they don't necessarily like personally like respectively hate that person. There are some people that do, but I don't think that's a necessary
Covering them
component
is
for the
different, though,
a-logging.
but they're usually relying on other people that have a-logged them.
They're relying on other people, which means what? Here.
As in, they rely on other people that obsessively hate these people and obsess over them to stalk them. They go and they look at all the information they've posted about them, and then they cover it in a YouTube video. So if you're like the commentary community did this for a long time. Hold on, I'm not saying the commentary community engages in a-logging, but like when people are going to make YouTube videos on lolcows, nobody talks about it in the commentary community. But oftentimes what they would do is they would go to Kiwi Farms, they would kind of summarize the information there, and then they make a YouTube video about it because a lot of people on the mainstream internet didn't know about Kiwi Farms, and that's what they would do. I wouldn't say that the YouTubers were a-logging people, but they relied on a-loggers who were usually like upset, like the people that are on Kiwi Farms posting every day about a person or posting like really frequently life updates. These are like obsessive people.
Okay, so it's the Kiwi. Okay, so I can agree that the Kiwi farmers, a lot of them are obsessive, right? But it seems like the description of people being a-logs is not just used for like everybody that's like personally like has like a visceral hatred that's going through like the usage of bad tactics. It seems like even if you're like covering someone on a regular basis to mock and make fun of them, like with what Queeman was doing to Stardust, it seems like that was described as a-logging.
Sure, because they were obsessively every day. Yeah, it was an obsessive hatred of
so
like tracking and follow. Yes.
So if the distinguishing factor that would make it a-logging versus not a-logging is like the obsessive factor, which would be a large quantity and frequency of coverage, then it seems like if Labs Wiki has been contributed to on the DG Wiki like on a daily basis, etc., that could absolutely be described as a-logging if that's like the defining criterion.
The only thing that's covered in my wiki are fights that we've had on stream. These aren't like updates of like her personal life. I don't think we talked about live in my community for like a year or two. It just depends because every now and then she'll pop up on some weird panel to make some arguments. But no, it's all stuff that's related to like me and Lav having whatever fights or disagreements on stream.
Sure, there can be reasons for why someone like constantly.
No,
there could be.
It's not about it. That's not a reason to a-log. That's not a-logging.
When is the last time you had when is the last time besides now that you spoke to Lav on stream?
Probably 3 days ago when she was talking to Connor.
Oh, I thought you two haven't spoken. Okay, I guess I'm just off on that.
That's why she popped up here now because they're still weird.
She wants to be clear. She wants to come back, but I don't think she's gonna listen.
She can't have a conversation back and forth. It's not worth it. Like again, like nobody will acknowledge that Anna was talking about me, was stalking me, was screaming about me for months. And I don't know, Whick. You can ask any other person in this space if you were to come to me and you were to ask me like, oh, like you want to come and talk to Anna? Like generally, my thing was either hands off or I was like, I don't think it's a good idea or whatever the fuck you guys want to do. The person who was driving that the most, if you wanted to say that there was one person who was singularly responsible for Anna's shit, it would be Zerka. Because Zerka saw that as a good-ass fucking farm material lolcow shit, and he farmed the ever-living fuck. He might have, I bet if you asked Zerka, I bet he would even laugh and say he did. He was like, oh yeah, hell yeah, that shit was fucking hilarious. Like yeah. But my community was
if Anna's actually streaming about you that much, right? Then you would assume that not every stream is going to be containing like super notable information. So if people are talking about it so much every time she boots up a live, to the point you have to like direct them to Kiwi Farms instead, it would probably be fair to say they were a-logging her. A-logging can be a-logging even if the things you're logging are just like perceived wrongdoings
if I have 5,000 viewers and somebody's going to go live and start crying about me, like you recognize that Anna apparently had, I guess at the time, untreated OCD, right? Like she literally has an obsessive compulsive illness, and it only takes 2 people from my chat to go and talk to her. If they even do it, or it takes anybody like talking about it, or it could not even be my chat. It could be, because this was back when I had a lot more connections in the Twitch community. It could be somebody in Prime Kai's chat brings it up. It could be somebody, I don't know if Whick was streaming as much back then, could bring it up. It could be somebody in Zerka's community brings it up. I can't control all these other side communities.
No, I agree. But weren't you but I totally agree with that logic. I just feel like that logic isn't necessarily, like, I feel like we're getting blamed for like what every side character on some other forum does, etc. I feel like the the acceptance of the fact that individuals are responsible for the acts in which they have control over is like
Bro,
applied
no,
to your side in
I
a manner
was
it's not
taking
applied to ours.
every step I could to make people not talk about her. These other people sit by and facilitate it. One of the times I cut Zerka off for like a year was because he would keep farming Anna and he wouldn't stop doing it. But I can't control every other chat. I can't control every other forum. I can't control, all I can control are the communities that I have where I can ban the talk of her. But I can't control.
Totally agree. Absolutely, completely agree with you on that. You're not going to find any dispute there. The claim
Hold on, but
was.
you understand
The
that's a
claim
difference
was.
between that versus like Kelly Jean saying, check out page 478 of this Kiwi Farms thing for pictures of his girlfriend, LOL. These aren't the same.
Yeah, that's someone who probably hates you for their own like litany of reasons that I wouldn't be aware of.
And Jessica was defending her.
Which he also hates you, and I would agree. Like in that instance, if like that's, I mean, what was
Sure,
the claim is? The
I'm
claim
not even
is
saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying it's not even remotely the same. These aren't remotely the same things.
Well, it seems like the lines that are created, like sure, these two things are not the same, but it seems like the lines that are created for like where we feel like this has crossed the line could also be equally applied in other situations where even though it's not the same, under the criterion provided, it would still cross that line.
Sure,
right?
you can say it anywhere else, but for the Anna stuff.
Interesting. Why do people claim? And once again, I'm not reiterating this as fact. I'm asking you directly.
Can I just, for my own brain, or I guess you're probably. Can you just tell me who's DMing you right now?
I'm not. Nobody's DMing me. Unironically,
okay.
I've heard this. I heard this
right
claim.
now
I've
is
heard
the thing that you just got.
No,
DM'd. Go ahead.
no.
Okay,
I've heard that Mr. Girl. Unironically, I know that one of the claims, because I've said it before on my stream when I was talking about you again. One of the claims made against you was that you were like, apparently, I didn't look into like the Mr. Girl shit, but I'll even close my eyes. One of the claims that was being made about you was that you had been actively engaging in communication with Anna after describing her as a stalker. Is that true?
Yeah, we tried blocking her for I don't even know how many months. We tried blocking her for months. That wouldn't work. I tried being friends with her again, and then that seemed to work for a little bit. And then eventually something would happen, and then she would lose her mind for a month or two again. Then we would try being friends for a little bit again. In those times, she would also sometimes try to sexually engage me again. And when I say sexually, I mean like sexual messages online. I've never saw her more than one time. And then something would happen, and then she would like split again or whatever the fuck else we'd fight. And this whole process happened over the course of, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 years.
Yes, but why, if you believe she's like some obsessive stalker, why feed into it at all? Why not just block her and never talk?
It doesn't matter if I'm talking to her, dude. You're not listening to me. She is streaming every single day, finding any comment she can on the internet to cry. She got partnered on Twitch because she would cover me so much that she was getting viewer bumps from other communities that would go and watch it.
Well, didn't she
Nothing
inevitably?
I was doing was stopping her from talking about me.
Didn't she eventually? Okay, but do you not feel okay? Didn't she eventually burn out and stop though? And do you not feel like engaging in active communication with her will just reignite you in her head and cause it to continue?
It didn't matter because I don't know what finally stopped. I think she finally got medicated after like our massive Zerka burnout. But there was nothing that whether I was engaging or not engaging with somebody, it's not like I can sit here and not talk about a person for 4 months and they're still having daily crash outs about me. And it's like, I guess I'll just wait a couple more months. Like sometimes when we were friends, sometimes she chilled and nothing was going on. And then other times somebody would say a comment online and then she would see it and then she would spiral and then it would all get like completely fucked again. And then we would go back and forth like that sometimes, but.
Well, as you're describing her to me, and I'm putting myself in your shoes here, if I believe that somebody had this like illness that was causing this like stalking, like obsessiveness with me, like I couldn't imagine like ever, like I feel like it's just a total risk to even like engage. I couldn't even imagine feeding into it, right? So I guess I'm questioning like that.
What responsibility does that give me over her stalking me?
It doesn't, right? And I don't even agree with stalking.
Then why is it even relevant at all?
Because I can't conceivably see someone talking to someone and engaging with them in this way if they view them as like an obsessive stalker. Like,
how do you explain Gisticle and Cherry then? He flew this girl out after committing her for being suicidal. Me and Anna had never gone that far, and he tried to date this girl after knowing that she was a crazy BBB for 3 years.
And is he claiming today that she was stalking him?
No, but she claimed. Well, it depends on who's. I guess it depends on who's DMs.
I don't think he's ever claimed that. You're the one that was making the stalking claim.
He has absolutely claimed. I believe he said initially that because he was telling different people different things that Cherry showed up. I mean, I can pull out the DMs from Kelly. He claimed that Cherry was sending him a bunch of nudes without consent. He claimed that Cherry flew to Canada to meet him without ever even knowing where he lived. Now, it's hard to know how much of that was false versus true because eventually Gisticle started to change his story once Kelly started to leak stuff. Because remember, according to Gisticle, they hadn't even started dating until June, but we found out that that was probably true 7 months earlier. But the nice thing about Gisticle is there's no analysis of his life. There's no obsessive, snarking focus. There's no A-logging of everything going on with Gisticle. It's only of me. It's only my stuff.
When the cherry shit was getting leaked, I mean, I was covering, everyone around me was covering in
Bullshit.
our space. Like,
Probably for one
yes,
day.
I've made fun of him for it to his face on stream, which caused a
That's
temporary
great,
falling
but
out
you
between
literally
us.
don't know a single fact that I just gave. You don't know any of this
No,
stuff. So
I know.
clearly you weren't really covering it.
No,
You know
here's what
more
I do know.
details
What do
about
I
me
need
and
to know?
Anna that you don't even have first. Hold on. When me and Anna were going back and forth, you were like 16 years old, and you seem to know more about that than Gisticle and Cherry.
No, I know. I'm pretty sure I know just as much about Gisticle and Cherry as I know about you and Anna. I knew some of the broad claims that are being made there, and I know some of the broad claims that are being made here. I actually probably know a little bit more about J-Stock and Cherry because I can like remember like specific messages of like her asking for a shit back in his chat. I know like I remember that comment you said where he said he talked about like dating, how he wouldn't date anyone in his server, etc. I remember all that shit, right? And I've given him, I've
More
given him
than
shit
that,
for it.
though, he also said that like I'm engaged in a pattern of abuse against women because I'm knowingly dating or hooking up with girls that have mental illness. Cherry was known to be severely mentally ill.
What's the word you just used there? What do you think I'm gonna say?
What?
To ask your own question. Pattern, right? Pattern.
Yes.
There's a difference between getting with someone that has a mental illness and the claim that's been made against you, which I don't even know if that's true or not, but it seems like the broader claim is that you seek it out and it's a pattern. You go for them because they have mental illness. That's what I've heard, right?
If that was the case, wait, hold on. If that was the case,
One quick,
why
and then
didn't
I got something to say.
Why didn't I meet up with Anna after she went crazy the first time then? Why did I never meet with her again? I could have a billion times, right?
Well, it seemed like you were sexting with her, right?
I think we did 1 or 2 times over the next year. But forget sexting. Couldn't I could have very easily flown out and met her, right?
I mean, if you have to do a 1-to-1, sure, I guess it wouldn't be identical, but I think sexting is still like intimate engagement. Obviously it's not nearly as intimate.
It's such an infantilizing. Whether or not which again, she also initiated every fucking sext or whatever. It's not like I was like begging her or anything. It's her messaging me. Whether or not we sexted a couple times in the course of our year where she was going back and forth on things, I'm clearly not aggressively pursuing this person. If they're the ones that are talking about me constantly, this girl is 32 years old, like 6 months away from having her clinicians, psychiatrist, or not psychiatrist, but she's gonna be like a clinical therapist person. Okay, like how I don't understand how this person has no agency whatsoever. But I'm abusing this person who's stalking me and A-logging me that other people are making a content out of every single fucking day. That Zerka's farming this person, stalking me.
Okay. I do have something to say. It's a little tangential, but it's annoying me. So, Lav, if you want to have your say, I will invite you on next week to do that. And we can have a talk. We can have a chat, all you want. But for you to spam my DMs calling me dishonest and sweeping because I don't let you on to my platform to monologue, no, fuck off. Find some SSRIs, get back on your meds, find peace, find God. I don't care if you think I'm dishonest, if you think I'm sweeping. Why would I give a fuck what you think? Fuck off.
She's obviously passionate about this, but Stardust sounded like she was like on the verge of tears as she was discussing this. She was obviously very impassioned. We let her go on an entire
Stardust
monologue.
is my friend. Stardust has had my back. Stardust has done things for me. Stardust gets privileges that Lav, who is not my friend, who I have no connection to, does not. I give privileges to my friends.
So you own the sweeping and bias. Got it.
Do you think that by letting Stardust speak more because she is my friend, that I'm sweeping?
I think yes. I think if your claim is that you are supposedly the reason Lav is not in here is because you take gripe with like the monologue
because she's annoying me.
Situation that just occurred,
and I don't have to bring someone on who's annoying me.
I don't think
I don't have to do that. I can just say no. And if you think I'm inconsistent, call the consistency police. They'll have me arrested.
I'm just making the descriptive claim. I'm not saying you need to be arrested over it. You're just obviously.
I don't give a shit. Okay. Continue on your guys' debate and stuff. I just needed to say that. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, where were we? What were we just saying? What was the point being made? Just totally forgot.
Anna is an adult. They had agency. They were pushing this the entire time. This person was obsessively stalk covering me for a year, going live on her stream, screaming and crying, responding to things in chat. There were people that were intentionally spinning her up. Some from Kiwi Farm, some from Zerka's community, some from... I'm sure there must have been at least a couple from my community. But if I caught people doing it, if she passed me the name, I would ban them from my stream. I ban all commentary about her from my stream. I wouldn't let people... Obviously, there's no host or raid, or they couldn't mention things or whatever. I saw people doing it, I would ban it. I did everything I could to not have people engaging with her or to not give her something to engage on. I couldn't control every single other peripheral community around me. And The idea that somehow...
I've never expected you to. I don't expect you to do that, right?
Sure, but like, there's no way that this could be listed as an example of me like abusing somebody or chasing. Like, there was. I don't know what the fuck else I'm supposed to do at this point.
Yeah, so it sounds like other people make that. My gripe here, based on the story you've described to me per your own wording, is like the claim of stalking. Because at least how I view stalking, I've seen it as like repeated, like unwanted, unreciprocated contact. When like someone has clearly made efforts to distance themselves from the party involved, and they continuously attempt to get in contact despite this. I think that would be stalking, and I feel like the stalking claim like doesn't necessarily work if like you're admitting
the stalking claim was she wanted to talk to me every single time about these things that would come up. And we did this a little bit where I would remove comments, but then she would spiral over and over and over again. And especially if I was streaming and I couldn't respond to her, then she would go live and then she would start complaining. And it was reaching out to me, it was reaching out to Melina, my wife, it was probably reaching out to other people in the community. Regardless of how you view any of this, though, my community was not A-logging Anna. There was no A-log. I don't even know if there's anything to A-log. She's just live on her stream every day crying and screaming about me.
Well, if they're monitoring her streams every like when she's
Who's
going
they?
live, and
one person in my community? No,
it was
one.
It was one person in your community that was talking about it when she went live.
No, my community was banned from talking about her. They weren't allowed to mention her going live. They couldn't do it.
Well, yeah, you seems like you did that in response to A-logging. That's why I'm not saying that you were.
Hold on. Every single mention of another stream. Come on, Whick. I'm gonna lose my mind. Why are you doing this, bro?
I know like that's the logic you guys are applying with Stardust and Queeman.
Hold on.
So I'm just
Queeman. If I were to go and look at Film Rot or whatever the fuck, what's that thing called, and try to figure out how many times Queeman has mentioned Stardust, how many times do you think she's come up in his fucking YouTube channel?
Probably like in all of his streams, I don't know, like fucking 200 or something. Or we're talking about like if we're talking about offhand remarks, that's not that much. I mean, he's been going live for years, right? I've had like if you find someone like funny and like worth making fun of or whatever, and they're just like your personal like lolcow or whatever, it wouldn't be that would actually not be like a huge number.
Oh, Lav's leaking my DMs in JStalk server.
Yeah, of course she does. She always does this.
Yeah.
So
she's crazy.
Somebody in my community responding to somebody like talking about them is not like that's not A-logging.
So
if I'm screaming, if I go live and I start screaming about Gisticle, and Gisticle, like, for instance, Gisticle has been going live over the past, I think, 2 weeks or whatever, talking about me. He's not A-logging me there. He's responding to the things that I'm saying about him. You agree with that, right? Gisticle's not A-logging me over the past 2 weeks, right?
Sure, but even when he's covering shit that you're involved with like other people and it's not a direct response, I still say that's A-logging, right? I don't view A-logging as like...
No, nobody uses it this way.
I think people...
You seem to have a proprietary definition.
You're using a definition that nobody else in the community uses.
That's not true. You don't think the term A-logging is applied to like the repeated persistence and often frequent coverage of a single individual that you take issue with?
What definition did you just read there? And tell me which.
I'm not reading. That's my definition. I'm not. You keep saying I'm reading shit. If you want me to wear a blindfold, I will.
You just pulled that random sling of words, like.
Yes. I don't know what to tell you. Like you keep accusing me of reading shit. I'm not fucking. I'm not reading anything. That's my definition. I might have read. I might like at most. No. Actually, I'm not.
A-logging is when you are obsessively covering somebody. Generally with a hateful turn. It's not responding to somebody, though. When Gisticle's going live, every day, every night, or whatever the fuck over the past 2 weeks, like covering me, he's responding to me attacking him. He's not A-logging me.
Has the bulk of his negative coverage about you just been responding to what you say about him?
No, of course not.
Yeah, of course. Yes, we agree, and that would be A-logging, right?
No. I don't know. No. Generally, other people A-log for him, but that's a totally different thing. I'm just saying that if I'm going live. But I'm not even responding to Anna's coverage of me. People in my stream or people around me sometimes would notice that Anna is going live and screaming about me because she would reach out to me. She'd reach out to other content creators. She would sometimes go in other chats and start typing and spamming. That's not other people A-logging her. She's like A-logging herself. Nobody is A-logging her except for maybe a few of the Kiwi farmers.
Here, just real quick. Lav can come on if she brings JStalk. If she brings JStalk and JStalk comes on too, I will allow you both on. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
I just don't know what the definition would be.
You've given her a burden she can't meet to justify not letting her speak.
I just don't know what if a few people in my chat, which wasn't even happening, but were watching Anna's stream when she went live to cry and scream about me, that means that my community was A-logging Anna? That's crazy.
Yeah, I think if you're following like like she was a nobody, right? Besides her association with you. Right, I think like obviously like people in your community would be like naturally interested, but like if they're covering like every like 20 viewer live stream, I'd say yeah, it's persistent, frequent, repeated coverage.
My community wasn't doing this though. The only time people knew is if she would try to get other people to notice.
So why did you, per your own admission, like tell them to go to Kiwi Farms instead.
This was months and months after, because then people started posting on it, and then instead of referencing her streams, people in my chat would say something like, hey, did you see this thing about blah, 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 blah? And then because so many people would keep bringing it up without mentioning her name, we had a 1-minute moratorium, or anti-moratorium on Anna posting, and I said, if you want to talk about Anna, go to the fucking thread and do it. Don't do it to my community. We're not going to have people spinning all this shit up on my community. That's the only time I ever said this.
So your community, so your community was A-logging her, and then you took corrective measures.
Fucking retarded.
Right?
I'm sorry.
How is that not How is that not? You have no response.
It's just no.
I
have responded a million times.
Yeah,
I would love
no
it.
substance.
What do you mean no substance? What do you think I would feel like if Justical and all these other people were to say, guys, we're not going to talk about Destiny anymore. If you want to talk about go to Kiwi Farms, what do you think I would say?
Sorry, say that one more time.
If Justical and all these other Justical, Queeman, Wow, the Substance Guy, all these other people, if they were to say, guys, we're not going to talk about Destiny anymore. If you want to talk about Destiny, go to Kiwi Farms. What do you think I would say?
You wouldn't. You probably wouldn't care about any of these people. Sure.
I would say amen.
But I don't take.
Amen.
Yes.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
The dispute. No. Okay. There's never going to be like a 1-to-1 just because two things aren't identical.
No, it's not even of the same kind of thing. I'm not maliciously linking Anna's Kiwi Farms thread, right?
Okay,
This is Aiden. Just real quick, not to double team you here, but I am going to a little. This is why people are like. I don't know if you're being honest here. It's very hard to believe that you're being.
No. This is the. Just so you know, this is the narrative talking point that the Snarker people desperately have to hold on to me, because the Anna story is the most important thing that Mr. Girl. Fuck, Aiden might actually be a Mr. Girl fucking rape fan. I don't know, but this is like the one
I was
thing
a fan
that
of
they have
you.
to
Believe it or
hold
not.
on. This is the one thing they have to hold on to as hard as anything, because if the Anna story falls apart, all of Lav and Mr. Girl's obsessive justifications completely fall apart, and that's basically all they have for my history of crazy abusive shit when it comes to other women. So the Anna thing is like he can never give on this. I have to have linked thread in a malicious manner. My community has to have been A-logging Anna. I have to have been telling my community she was crazy and sexy at the same time. All these things none of these things he can give on. It doesn't matter how much I say or how many facts are presented or whatever else is going on.
Do you
There's
think
just
I
no way
like?
to move him off
Do you
of
think
this.
I like that they have these talking points against
Yes,
you? Do you think I
of
like
course,
that?
Yes, it makes things nice and easy. It makes
you can
things
hear
super
when
simple.
I was a fucking huge fan of yours. Okay, it's disappointing. It's like disappointing as shit.
Why
I
does
don't
that matter?
like
Yes,
that
yes. The strongest
the
anti-fans
arguments
come from X fans.
Yeah, but you're
That's what an
saying you're
anti-fan is,
trying
of
to. Yeah, but you're trying to argue that I have some like predisposed bias against you. When if anything, I'm actually upset like that they have something here, right?
That's not how anti-fanning works. When you become an anti-fan, you don't have a predisposed. That was maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago. How long ago was the Anna shit even? 6 years
It was
ago?
like 22, 20.
I was cool with you up
wait,
until the Pixie
wasn't the
shit.
Anna
That's
stuff like
permanent.
during COVID?
It might have
the
been
Pixie shit that's
21.
permanent.
So that was 5 years ago? You're saying you have a predisposition
I
to
don't
liking
know
things
off
I'm
the
saying
top.
because you were a fan of mine 5 or 6 years ago?
No,
That's
I was a fan of yours
crazy.
up until the Pixie shit dropped.
That's fine. Then 2 years ago.
All these other arguments, all these other like anti-fan arguments, whatever, I heard afterwards because I started talking to people who were making the criticisms against you. When I was informed of these arguments, they seem to be sound and valid, so I've accepted them. What you've presented to me to refute them doesn't make any sense, right? That's what I've been.
What doesn't make sense? Hold on.
Sure, so-
Wait, play this one. Here, 2 minutes.
Okay, DM it to me. Hold on. Sorry, I got to get past all the DMs. Okay, let me bring it up on screen. Full screen it. Everyone there? Everyone watching?
Yep.
This
Wait,
is
you're not laughing at me?
I have literally
And not
told
laughing
my
at me.
community. I have literally told my
But
community.
you never
me and Anna are fine,
apologized, though.
Everything is okay. Everything's chill. But then, like, 2
But
weeks
no, you
later,
didn't,
you'll
though.
randomly come back and be like, oh,
But
like, you
Steven-
laughed during this, or oh, this happened, or blah, blah, blah. Listen, this is all I want. I want to be in a world where neither of us ever mentions either person ever again publicly, ever. We don't have to talk privately. We don't have to say anything publicly, and then just move on. I've had the same conversation like 5 times, but it is impossible for you to hold fast to this. You cannot do it because as soon as you agree to it, which you have in the past publicly on stream before, that we won't
But
talk anymore, that we
Steven,
never
that's
mention each other publicly,
because
then like
you
2 weeks later, you'll
don't-
be tweeting shit about me every fucking time. You've done this over and over
Because
again for years.
because you haven't taken any responsibility for it.
Anna,
You haven't
Anna,
said
Anna,
like,
Anna,
but
I'm
you
not
haven't
gonna-
said
no.
like, I was wrong for saying that stuff. Like you never said that. Like
Anna, he says
But
you're
it-
her.
Anna, I
he
don't
says,
agree with you. Anna, we don't say,
Yeah.
I'm never going to quote unquote take responsibility because your idea of me taking responsibility is saying that everything that happened was my fault. I don't agree with that. I think
I
you
mean,
fucked
I
up
don't
a lot
say
of it.
that. No, but I say that I fucked up. Sure, but like you. but like literally the things you did were emotionally abusive, and you've admitted
Shut
to
the
this
fuck
to
up,
me
Anna,
like.
dude, you do so many manipulative
but-
abusive things. I don't
Okay,
care. You gotta move on.
no,
Like what?
this is you deflecting though. This is you deflecting.
Maybe specifics.
But you're gonna do.
How long are we doing this?
Wait, I mean, that's enough. Like, I cannot get rid of this person. I've tried, even in this conversation, I've tried to get rid of this person. They are getting hosted on platforms, mainly on fucking Zerka's show, and I cut Zerka off for like a fucking year after this. They continue to find, it's not even me or my community.
Did you sext her after this exchange?
I think by the time after this one, I don't think we did anymore. I think after this, she had like one big final huge crash. I think on this thing. But even if I did, it wouldn't even matter. It doesn't matter. I'm trying.
It would matter for your claim. It would matter for I'm not making. It would matter for your claims. You're making the claims against her, right? It would matter for the claim that she's stalking you.
Stop talking. Yes, stop talking.
Yeah. So a good way to do a start would probably be to not actively, sext her, right?
She's the one pursuing me. She's trying to add me. She's trying to add my girlfriend. She's trying to add other people. She's hopping up panels. I don't think we did after this one or whatever. But like every strategy that I have, ignoring her didn't work. Being friends with her kind of worked a little bit. She tried to be sexual with me. We were sexual a little bit. I got to whatever. But then eventually we go back, and then we be friends, and then we go back, and then we be friends, and then we go back. This happened for like 2 years.
So if somebody's like if somebody's like obsessed with you, don't you think
Bro,
like
you're
sex
fucking
and continues to lead them
You're
on?
so fucking retarded. It's her fault. Do you acknowledge that it's her fault? 100%.
Well, it's not like I'm not like a kid. It's not like it's one person's fault. Like, or
No,
I'm
no.
saying both. There were
who's
wrongdoings
the one
on.
that is driving? No, motherfucker. Who's driving the interactions on every single engagement? Who's the one that's pushing it every single time?
She's the one talking about you because
yes.
she's.
And then who's hosting panels to have things about it, to make content and memes about it? It wasn't me, right?
Yeah, but you're calling into those panels, and then you were after describing her as an obsessive stalker, actively sexting her,
calling into the
cycle.
Describing me as abusive and evil or whatever after trying to get into my relationship. So what?
Do you not think stalking, if that's what happened, do you not think stalking is more likely to persist when you sex the person you believe and describe as stalking you?
Okay, so there's nothing wrong with anything I've ever done to any girl as long as they've also had sex with me then, right?
There's nothing wrong you've done to
me. Whether or not I engaged at all sexually with her has nothing to do with this. There's nothing that
it has to do with your claim
just a housekeeping thing. Just a housekeeping thing.
That would justify her compulsively going live
I got
and talking
it. Destiny,
about me every
please.
single fucking day.
Give me a second. Just a housekeeping thing because I'm actually not sure. Counterpoints wants to ask you a question.
No, fuck no.
No?
He can go diddle his own kids again. Fuck that guy. No, I'm good.
Okay, fair enough.
Wait, what? What was that claim? Is that a new claim you guys have come up with?
Nothing justifies Anna talking about me obsessively for years. Nothing does.
So I can probably agree. If I was to look at this, nobody's
you can't even agree with that? You think there might be a justification for talking about me for years?
No. Okay, but if you acknowledge this person had a mental illness that predisposed him to obsession, I don't know why feeding into that obsession by actively sexting them would get it to persist.
I'm saying that nothing.
I'm responding to your claim that
I
you're
don't care
stalking
about my claim is nothing. Okay, we'll drop stalking since you don't want to own any strong claim against anybody.
Well, no, did she stalk you or not?
You never will. You never will. She did. Most people would agree with that, but you'll never own a strong claim against me. That's
stalking
fine.
is no. People are not sexting people they describe as stalking them. Stalking
you don't think anybody? You don't think anybody ever weaponizes sex, especially against men? Really? Maybe not against you, I guess. But like, listen, hold on, stop.
Okay,
you don't think that people have sex with people that they're stalking?
I'm not a sexual degeneraate. That's like sucking dick and has a butt plug in and fucking BPD reports every week and then complaining that they're stalking me.
There we go. All the personal attacks. Yes, get them all out here. What did you say? 6 months
playing victim, attacking and then playing victim. That's literally all you know how to do.
Victim. I'm talking about nothing.
I only personally attacked you because you went in for personal attack.
Nothing justifies. Well, you're making retarded claims. Nothing justifies Anna talking about me obsessively every single day. Nothing does, right?
Sure, but she's
not even sure. No. So it is justified or it's not. I need a binary or a percentage on that. What could possibly justify her going public and talking about me every single day? What could justify that?
Well, she probably believed you had emotionally hurt her in some sense, and she would solve something by talking about you. But I believe that wouldn't be an adequate justification because I don't think talking about you was going to resolve that if she was talking about you every day.
So then nothing justifies her going live and talking about me, messaging my wife, messaging other content creators, going into other streams.
Yeah, that's irrational behavior from somebody that you've already admitted has a mental illness.
Fuck, irrational? You
can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. They're irrational and crazy. They're crazy. They're crazy when you need to smear them, but then they have all the agency in the world when it's time to defend yourself.
Somebody can have mental issues and still have agency.
Yes, I agree, but it seems like you were like using her obsessive nature against you were using her obsessive nature against her, and then complaining that she was obsessive after you fed into this relationship by sexting
I
her.
do think it's wild. I do think it's wild that we again, Aiden, came on to discuss your debate with Destiny and also who's still spreading my docs, and now here we are litigating the Anna stuff for the second time.
I've just taken this wherever you were. I just taken this wherever you wanted to go with it. You're the one that wanted the conversation. If you feel like something's like off topic or whatever, I can. This is your conversation.
This is, I mean, this is content, so I'm letting it ride. But
sure.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, one more. You play. I guess like a minute from here or whatever.
Okay, give me a second.
Steven, you
Bring it up.
Ready? Go.
You know that you were psychologically abusive to me, Steven. Don't deny it. Come on, don't gaslight. But Steven, you literally ignored me. You gave me the silent treatment. You did the stonewalling.
When they sent you 50 fucking DMs, it's not abuse, Anna.
Steven, that was after you were ignoring me for literally months because I know you were doing that out of anger and control. And my own therapist said this.
I was like,
Stop. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I can't believe I let you fucking retards hijack this narrative so much because you're so obsessed with the pedophile rapist, Mr. Girl, and I know you are. You absolutely have the archetype for it, and that leaked call from 6 months ago fucking shows it, okay? 100%, you have the archetype of a Mr. Girl fucking rapist.
I don't like Mr. Girl.
She just said in that call that I was ignoring her for months. What the fuck?
So first of all, I have to see the context, but do you not think that if the narrative is being perpetuated, that you used her obsessive nature against her, right? Apparently you said, and I'm reading this one because someone said it in my chat. I'll tell you exactly where I'm reading it from. Apparently you said to her that you would like fix her reputation or something while you were sexting her. It seems like you've been somebody that's been willing to use that obsessive nature when it benefits you, and obviously giving her just enough to keep the obsession going, and then withholding affection absolutely can keep it going. So you just don't feed into it, right? You just don't text her at all. You disengage completely.
The fixing her reputation is when one of the things that she would loop about, and there are DMs from her mod coming into my chat to talk about, oh God, watch out guys, she's looping again, don't talk about her. The fixing reputation was me trying to delete every bad thing about her on the internet. That was me fixing reputation. So me asking Abba to remove the video where he covered her massive crash out. Me asking creators in the space, please don't talk about it or ban the thing in your chat if you see it. Me trying to go back to my Reddit history for old threads about her and deleting it. That's me fixing reputation. It's not like I'm saying like, you have to sext me and then I'll fix your reputation, blah, blah, blah. This never happened.
You don't think...
Stop, dude. You can't keep doing this. You don't think. What she is constantly bringing me up. Even after ignoring her for months, she's messaging everybody around me. You can talk to other content creators saying that I'm abusing her. When I do ignore her, she's saying it's because I'm abusing her by ignoring her. When I talk to her, she's saying I'm abusing her and manipulating her by talking to her. You can't keep doing this. Well, don't you think that?
So
she's driving this, all of this.
Okay, so it seems like this person is obviously has some like emotional
Mentally ill, and don't you think it's the same thing? This is it. You guys are broken records.
No. I'm saying you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. You paint her as mentally. Then when I invoke it, I'm supposedly trying to take away her agency. You're the one.
Can you just address Aiden, please? Can you just address that on that stream that we just saw? Just real quick, on the stream that we just saw, Anna said that Destiny hadn't talked to her for months, and she considered that abuse.
And she was messaging people around me saying it was abuse. And she was on these panels saying that I was an abuser.
Like,
sure, I don't think
so. What is he like? If he can't not talk to her because that's going to be painted as abuse, and she's going to talk to people like, this is abusive, this person's abusing me, this person's an abuser, and go on streams and do streams about it. If he does talk to her, then he's abusing a mentally ill woman. Like, you're putting him in a no-win situation.
That's not true. Do you not think in like situations of stalking, do you think anybody would be advised to engage with the person at all? That has been like, obviously you've just said he ignored her, right?
But he is a public.
The narrative people don't have public lives. It's easy. Like BPD people are easy to treat in real life. You just ice them out. You don't talk about them. Online, they start making fucking twitlongers about you, or they start dating your ops secretly, and then they go on their stream for 6 months to talk shit about you. So
if a claim gains traction that she's made, then you just go and address that like publicly, dispute it. And if she has nothing, then it collapses, and you could just.
That's not how. That's not.
Oh my
how
god, bro, he's fucking retarded. Hold on, just curious. Did you suck a guy's dick 6 months ago? Did this happen, or did some guy suck your dick 6 months ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why the fuck did you just say you don't get engaged in degenerate behavior then?
I'm sorry. It's degenerate behavior.
So
To
the guy
have
suck your
private
dick?
sexual.
Are you gay?
Isn't there literally a video of you on the internet
Are
sucking
you
a
gay,
random guy's dick?
motherfucker? Are you gay?
I'm bi-curious.
I don't. What are we doing?
Bi-curious,
Why?
motherfucker. He was
I'm not
sucking your dick.
interested.
That's
I'm
not
not interested.
bi-curious is before the mouth is. Well, because you called me degenerate as a fucking insult earlier. What the fuck?
Well, okay, so I've only had sexual activity probably with like enough people to name on one hand.
You're
don't.
21 years old. No shit.
I don't care.
Well,
I don't
okay,
care
your
about the
20s
sex
is
stuff.
Your
I
20s
don't
is
care
sort
about
of
the
the time
sex stuff.
when you're
I don't
going
want to know.
around-
Please don't tell me.
21. You're not in your 20s. You're 21.
Okay, please
Yeah,
don't tell me.
in my
Okay,
20s.
this is gone. This is
Sure, that's fine. I'm sorry.
If
If he
anything,
pointed
I'd
out all the
understand
shit
your
about
shit.
insulting
I'd
it.
understand your shit more if you were maybe like in your early 20s. I feel like that's like more of the appropriate time where you're going around like fucking like a bunch of random people and shit, maybe, right? But like, you know, I feel like this would be the time where you would try shit out and get it out of the way. I don't know.
I'm just saying, I didn't have any guy experience when I was 21. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. Enough.
Yeah,
We're
only when
gonna
you're 40
hold
and
on.
videos
Hold
are
on. Do
all
you
over the
have
internet
any
for the world to see, I
last?
guess.
Because I'm done with this conversation. I am done with this conversation. It's gone on in circles, and we've looped and looped and looped and looped and looped, and I think it's time to have some closing thoughts. And let me just ask you, Aiden, as a last thing, and then you can give your final thoughts on the matter, and we can wrap this up. Earlier, right? A couple weeks ago, you called on everyone to rally around to fight against Destiny and DGG and things like that. Given what you know now and the interactions you've had since, do you stand by that call to action, or have you become more neutral? That's what I want to know.
Whenever he says something that I believe to be dishonest,
Answer my
and then
question,
it's
please.
Yeah, I am. This is actually a fucking answer. So whenever he perpetuates something that I believe to be dishonest, and then a million like random like sock accounts are perpetuating that narrative, etc., I say, you know what? If they respond with like five of those sock accounts reiterate his claims, have 10 that reiterate the claim that you can argue is truthful, right? So yes, that call to action would remain if there's anything that is said that I believe is a lie.
Okay, so currently that call to action is in force.
If he lies, if I believe he lies, yeah.
Do you believe he's lying?
I think he's lied about certain things, yeah. I don't think the whole...
So
I
it
don't
is
think...
still in force?
Yes, in response
okay,
to the
that's
lies
all I
that get
wanted to know.
disseminated.
Okay,
Yes, yeah.
Give your final thoughts on the matter, and then please, I will remind you, I do want to know who's spreading my docs, and you can take your time, find out, be accurate, and just let me know when that happens. But final thoughts, and then we'll get Destiny's final thoughts, and then I am done with all of you for now, okay?
Yeah, fuck this space. I'll be glad when my court case is over so I can burn all these motherfuckers to the ground because the people here are fucking insane. It's annoying the crazy myths that are existing of me being this manipulator, abuser. Like, people have desperately clung on to these for years. There has never been a leak, never been a DM, and I probably have more shit about me, more fuck videos, more cringy fucking sex, more whatever fucking romantic message that have leaked about me than any other fucking content creator on the space. And guess what? There haven't ever been messages of me saying, I want to fucking slit this fucking woman's throat. I want to fucking murder this motherfucker.
No, there's messages of you saying you hope she gets raped to death with a shovel. I made an edgy joke that you're trying to describe. I've never used that comment against you, by the way.
Excuse me.
I've only used
that was not a leak. That was a post on my public Twitter, you fucking retard. What are you talking about?
I'm sorry. Why would it being leaked or not change the nature of the statement? If
because
it was
you're trying to hide it. Because you're trying to hide it.
How am I trying to hide it? How am I trying to hide it?
You just said it was in a private room, didn't you? It was in a private room that wasn't supposed to leak anywhere, right?
I'm sorry. If you're having a conversation with somebody one-on-one, are you trying to hide all the contents of that?
It wasn't one-on-one, was it? Was it one-on-one?
Okay, not everything is a one-to-one. A comparison
no,
can
it was like
still
6
work,
people.
even if the quantity...
I'm just saying,
yes,
all
so
I'm
even if
saying
quantity
is
is not exact, it can still be compared, right?
All I'm saying is that of all the crazy shit that's ever been fucking said about me and all the fucking leaks and everything else, nothing is ever leaked to even remotely substantiate the crazy fucking things that people believe about me. Meanwhile, we just went through 30 fucking pages of Doobie talking about how he's got fucking kids on his mod team that they're flying out to meet while he copies child porn from members of his server because he's got a secret fucking... No, you don't give a fuck and you'll never talk about it again. I know you won't. You're going to be fucking friends with this dude tomorrow. He might be the one sucking your dick tomorrow. I don't know.
I don't talk to him.
Bro, and you don't talk about Cherry. You don't talk about Gisticle. I looked at your channel. There's like 15 mentions of it. There's 15 mentions of it ever. This guy said he wanted to be Cherry's Dr. K. He wanted to take care of her forever, while he brought this woman onto his stream to fucking rape her mind so that she would continue to talk about his ops until he used her, abused her, burned her the fuck out, just like he wore out fucking Connor's ass, who's now set himself on fire to try to fucking take me out too, right? And then they toss these people into the wind. You're gonna be the next little fucking fleshlight that they use and abuse and turn out, and then it's just gonna be a whole fucking line of these people, and none of you guys can see the pattern. Meanwhile, Destiny, didn't you abuse Anna because one time in the 2 years of her obsessively posting and talking about you, you had lifted the moratorium on your chat and told people to go talk about her on Kiwi Farms instead of here? Meanwhile, in Just Go server, on page 700, it's so fucking funny how they fucking dox this person. It's so funny on page fucking 1400. I wish I could post it here, but I know we're not allowed to. And you're like, well, look, they're not allowed to, Destiny. You're so beyond fucking retarded.
Well,
you guys
I've
deserve
only-
every fucking
Destiny,
thing
do
that
you know
anybody. You have no
every
sympathy for any of you.
Okay.
You're crazy.
Last word, Aiden. Last word,
Yeah,
Aiden.
so
and
all
then
the
we're
things you
ending.
just mentioned, I've only brought them up to refute the narratives that you've given. I believe that those things, not that I take like exceptional personal issue with like you telling people to go to King for. I brought that up specifically in response to like disputing the claim that like you potentially are being reckless with your community, like and the nature of like docs information that was disseminated on that website. In regards to Anna coming up again in this conversation, I've only argued against the claim that you made that she was a stalker. I haven't even said in this entire conversation, I think, if anything you're doing is morally good or bad. I'm just
Do you
saying
agree
I
at least
don't.
that she was a stalker?
No, because
If
I
she
believe
was
that
talking about me every
Okay,
day,
we're
if she was
looping.
messaging people in other spaces every
We're
day,
looping.
if she was-
Destiny.
if she was-
I'm trying to end
but
this.
Isn't that stalking? If she's messaging all these other people in the space,
I would
talking about
consider her a stalker.
Of course you would.
Yes,
Aiden,
absolutely.
how is that not
Okay.
stalking? Does she have to show up at my house?
So I
It's-
think
it's
if this
stalking.
okay, so without where you never interacted or engaged or talked to her at all,
We're
how
looping.
long did this
Okay.
persist for?
One
Like,
months. 4 months. We'll say 4 months.
This
She
is
was
what I'm saying.
messaging other people in this space. She was streaming about me every day. She was talking about me every day. She was going on other panels to talk about me. She was using her credentials as a master of psych student to say I was an abuser. She was talking about me abandoning Nathan.
Yeah, so in regard, so it could in regards to her reaching out to people around you that knew you, like your wife, if you were not talking to her
And other
at any
content
point.
creators.
Yeah, okay, other content creators was that to get in contact with you directly?
Sometimes, yeah, or just to talk about me. Dude, look at all the qualifiers. You're so like you
No,
had
I'm
no
saying
problem.
I've given you my definition
you
of
had no
stalking.
problem saying
I
that
gave you my
stalked
definition.
Anna with no context whatsoever. I gave you all the stuff about Anna. You're like, well, how many days, how many hours did you spend not talking about her? And when she was messaging all those other people around you to talk about you, was it to talk about you like in particular, or was it just to talk about you're
No,
such a fucking piece of
I'm
shit?
asking.
Bro,
I gave you my
You're full
definition
of
for
shit, bro.
stalking,
No,
which you
fuck
didn't
you have
dispute.
no definition.
We're
You're
ending the
literally-
stream.
okay, God.
We're ending
Yeah,
the
okay.
stream. I'm tired. I'm hungry. My doggy needs me, and I need to take her on a walk. This has been a shit show. But thank you both for coming on and get me that information, Aiden. Bye bye.